This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we review the MCU's first special presentation, Werewolf by Night. Plus, how big will Black Adam open at the box office, and will it have the cameo we all want? The Spawn movie gets new writers. We get our first taste of Chris Pratt as Mario. Reactions to the latest episodes of She-Hulk, House of the Dragon, Rings of Power, and more, all in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, October 10th, 2022.
Now listen here, bitches. You say you're looking for a podcast about comic books and TV and movies, but you don't know where to go? Well, stop whining and tune into the Jock and Nerd podcast. These are the only guys you'll ever need. They're jockey, they're nerdy, and they're bitches, like you. So keep it on the Jock and Nerd podcast. You can run, but you can't hide, bitch.
Check one. All right, this is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. We talk it, we nerd it. We funny, disturb it. We talk it, we nerd it. We spoiler alert. Oh yeah!
Hello, friend. Thanks for tuning in, and welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero, TV, and movie news, reviews, and burpees whenever we choose. Jock and Nerd. I'm leaving that in. My name is
Did you
Imran.
hear that? I thought I muted.
No, you
No,
did it.
you
bastard.
definitely burped right into the mic.
Wow.
Not athletic at all, too. That was a different kind of burp.
That may turn some people off right away. Hang in there. Don't go anywhere. My name is Imran.
Oh,
My
man.
name's
This,
Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's
just
the
mute
nerd.
this one.
And Burpee McBurpafuss over there, while he's not a werewolf, he does protect his man thing. It's Rug Boy.
Yeah, my man thing was huge and green
Yes, I had to shave
and
my...
enraged.
I'm glad I have that Manscaped clipper. I had to trim the man
I like
thing.
to call him Ted.
I love that he not only burped, but then he kept trying to talk while we were doing our intro.
Rugs, what are you drinking tonight? This may be the problem.
No, I'm drinking cider, which is it makes me burp a little bit. Like I thought I pressed the button and I'm like so
Oh my
mad
God.
that it didn't work because I did clearly press it.
It's okay.
Literally not. I mean, it would
No.
right into the mic.
Yeah, I saw a little audio spike. Listen, we're all family here. You can burp in front of family. It's fine.
I burp all the time, but like it's just like I didn't plan on at the beginning of the top of the show.
But we don't want the little
Burp.
felty to explode. You got to let the gases out. Before we begin, I need to ask you guys a question that has been keeping
here
me
we
up
go.
at night. There's something I can't stop thinking about, and it's
Is
bugging
every movie going to
the
be
shit out of me.
have COVID in it or
No.
be involved with COVID? Is
Oh, no,
that the question you're going to ask
I'm
us?
still worried about that question. No, this week's burning question is, why do the toys in the McDonald's adult Happy Meal have two sets of eyes? It's fucking creepy and disturbing. Have you seen these things?
No,
what are you
adult
talking
Happy Meal.
about?
Is there
There's-
strap-ons in there? Well,
That's what I thought. I heard adult Happy Meal. I'm like, you're getting a dildo with Ronald McDonald's face on the end. What is this?
Imran, what are you doing going to McDonald's right now?
It's on the commercial. There's a little toy of Grimace, Hamburglar, the girl bird thing, but they have four eyes.
Oh, I
And-
see this.
And they don't address it. Nobody's explained it. It's in my nightmares. It's
Commercial, too. Come on, dude. What is with you? You're just completely dating yourself.
Live
Throwing
TV.
commercials and the Happy
I
Meals out.
watch commercials. I think I was watching a football game because my wife is a Packers fan and it was on.
Well,
So I don't know. That's where the commercial was.
if they did make like Happy Meal dildos, like the Grimace one would be the most sought after.
Absolutely. It's called the
I mean,
Grimace.
there's a built-in market with the eggplant emoji.
Yeah.
You just throw a little green on his ass, and he's the eggplant emoji.
They're missing a huge opportunity. When I heard adult Happy Meal, that's not what I was expecting. I got excited.
This is kind of strange. I mean, I am looking at this now.
Right?
I don't know what the hell
What
the
the
deal
fuck is with the four eyes?
Is it a
McDonald's?
mistake or is it
No.
like they
No.
intentionally made them
Yes.
look like that?
And to set it aside from the kids' Happy Meals that has one set of eyes, I don't understand. It's creepy. McDonald's, what are you
This
doing?
has got to be some weird shit, like some weird McDonald's.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is some weird indoctrination from McDonald's.
Yeah, like we're gonna find out in like a year what the four eyes mean.
It's just from what the internet's saying. It's just a style choice they're making.
For the adult Happy Meal.
Yeah.
Weird. I don't know. I don't know if I want that. It makes it collectible. Maybe somebody wants it.
I know adults collect toys because I collect toys.
Yes, me too.
But I don't know. Like, I would just get the kids Happy Meal. Like, why would you need an adult?
Make an adult one? Do you want the kids one? I don't want to be a grown up. I want to never grow up.
Here's the bigger question, because maybe I'm the weirdo in this, but which of you guys are you guys regularly or even once a month going to McDonald's?
No, never. What adults are going to McDonald's all the time that they got to go 4 times to get the different toys? I don't know.
No, I never go to McDonald's, but I'm not
even saying for the toys. I'm saying just to enjoy food. I don't go there at all.
No.
You know why? Because they have those touchscreen menus now, and
don't give me this. Is that why you're not going?
No, because they've done studies that they are covered with shit. There are feces molecules all over the touchscreen. I don't know what's going on there. I'm not touching that thing.
Oh, there's feces.
That's not why I'm not going.
Plus, it's not real food. Also, so
that's more likely why I'm not going.
Yes.
You're not. Why would you ever, unless you're just in a bind or
like late night drive through, maybe like for a sandwich, for like a cheeseburger.
I think if you're drunk, anything could happen. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. That's 100. The drunkenness, take that out. But if you're going in there sober and you're not broke or you're just not in a bind, what are you doing getting a sandwich?
So if you're making like an adult decision, like you're consciously going to McDonald's.
I think you need to reevaluate.
Plus,
things.
look, drive-through is one thing, but if you actually go inside and then sit down and eat there, that's a little weird.
You know who loves McDonald's?
Who does?
The Don.
He does. He had it in the White House, didn't he?
He did. He did serve that to athletes. I think
he served that to all the yes. So he's maybe the Don.
What's your favorite fast food? Real quick,
right now.
Oh my God.
Right. Well, what? Sure. Right now, or if you want to go ever, I don't know. How do you want to answer?
In general,
You
know, Wendy's isn't bad. Wendy's seems a little bit better.
Wendy's is not bad. Yeah. Of the big ones like that.
Yeah.
Do you consider Subway fast food?
Yeah. It's garbage.
I like Subway, even though it's garbage. I like it.
Oh, you like it? Oh, you'll hit the Subway ones. I mean, they're open 24 hours. Some of them, like there's a.
If I'm going for sandwiches, I would get Jersey Mike's. Because they make bigger and fatter sandwiches, longer.
Yeah,
just like my penises. The sandwiches have a lot of girth.
You know what's great is the Bona beef. Like you use their app, they make the shit really fast, and it's just sitting there waiting for you.
See, I don't consider that fast food.
It's not fast food. It is though. It's really.
I don't really fuck with that much fast food except for pizza, and I never get chain anything.
Yeah, chain pizza. I think chain pizza is probably the worst fast food you can
we've already discussed this. We went the Little Caesars route. Yes, remember we talked about Little Caesars.
Little Caesars, Domino's. Like, what are you doing? Come on, stop.
Yeah, try harder.
I don't know. Do I ever eat fast food?
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. I might do a Taco Bell run, but maybe Chipotle more than Taco Bell.
Yeah, Chipotle is like a higher caliber fast food, I would say.
Everything in Taco Bell comes out of a caulk gun. This is why I don't trust the Taco Bell. Have you seen them?
I used to fuck with Five Guys every once in a while.
Five Guys
is good.
Yeah, Five Guys isn't bad.
That's upper echelon fast food. Yes.
We don't have In-N-Out over here or Carl's Jr., which are supposedly pretty good. But down in the East Coast area, we do have Five Guys though.
We have Five Guys here. I would do In-N-Out if I ever went out.
I like In-N-Out. Yeah. Steak Shake Shack's good.
Oh, Steak and Shake can be okay.
Steak and Shake is good. I like Steak and Shake.
Smash.
My favorite I liked Burger King for a long time. And then they changed their recipe on their nugs. They made them like the McDonald's McNuggets, and now I hate them.
Well, they do the flame broil. This is not a food podcast. The fuck are we doing? And you're making me hungry.
I think everyone can appreciate this. Yeah. And
there's a level of these things. Absolutely.
100%. One day we ought to do a draft of fast food restaurants. What you would do is you put all the restaurants in there and you assign them $5, $4, $3, $2, $1, and you get $30. You have to make you build your roster.
Oh man, that's not bad. Listener, let us know what your favorite fast food is. Email
maybe
show
on
at
the food podcast we start.
We will start a satellite food Jock and Nerd Food Daily podcast. Not daily. Anyways, let's get to what we're really here. We got a fun thing to review. A lot of shows to discuss. A little bit of news, slow news week. Let's get rid of that first.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
All right, I'm warning the listener right now. With the news I'm starting with is possible spoilers for Black Adam. coming up. It's coming out in about 11 days from when we record, October 21st. So, possible huge spoilers for Black Adam. Here's your spoiler alert. If you don't want to hear it, there's chapter markers. You can just jump to the next segment. I'll have it marked, and you won't hear it. Spoiler.
Spoiler alert.
Okay, have you guys been seeing the rumors circulating that one Henry Cavill may show up as Superman in Black Adam? Have you guys?
No, I did not hear that.
Okay,
I did hear that.
Yeah, there's a lot of rumors circulating. The Rock himself has teased things about that. So there's one like spoiler site with a ridiculous name called My Time to Shine. Hello.
Whoa.
That's the name of the site. Saying Cavill is back, and we will hear the John Williams score, which that gave me fucking geek boner right there.
Geek boner.
Seeing not just, a headless shot of of Superman like in Shazam, and then you hear dun, 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 dun.
I don't think you need that score.
Oh man, why? That's iconic. That's
because it's not Henry Cavill's Superman.
I know. They used it in the Brandon Ruth movie though, also.
They did.
So, but
they also used it in the Justice League movie.
Oh, they did.
Yeah,
the Justice.
It didn't work.
Yeah,
they did it. They did it there.
Which that's funny. The last time Henry Cavill played Superman, the last newest thing was in 2017, and he had a fucking mustache. That was the last time he got to put on the suit. I wonder if the mustache will return. Here's another tip. Following that rumblings, your boy Devin Faraci. Remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's the rapist. He's still around?
Yes, the disgraced
he's not a rapist.
Former
oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, my
We're going
God.
to get sued for slander or libel.
I don't know what you are, but something happened with you.
You grab someone by the pussy.
There you go.
Yeah. Former editor-in-chief of Birth Movies Death, which was a fantastic site. But, yeah, now he's kind of low-key. He has said that Henry Cavill, quote, is appearing in Black Adam in the post-credit scene. Henry Cavill has returned as Superman in Black Adam because The Rock demanded it. He went hard, full court press on Warner Brothers, made them go to Henry Cavill, and they had to sign a new deal with Henry Cavill, including saying they were going to develop a new Superman movie, and this is all because The Rock insisted.
Oh, shit.
Could it be The Rock made it so, and he's going to bring back Superman and fix the DC movies? First of all, what do you think of the possibility of this rumor? Sounds like it could be like a post-credit scene.
Yeah, I think it's exciting if you're a DC fan, because we've talked about him many times on the show. Henry Cavill's been a pretty decent Superman. He's just had bad writing around him. So if you could potentially meld this relationship and get him in Black Adam and then eventually make a Superman movie, I think that's a win for DC. So I wouldn't say I'm personally excited, because I'm just not excited about anything DC does at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's a big move for them and something that they can definitely push.
Ruggs, does the mustache return?
I hope not. I think that the search for a new Superman would be too much of a thing to do right now. Yeah. Like the company's in too much disarray. They got to lock down something that they know is not really an issue. Like, it's not Cavill that's the issue. He can act.
Yeah.
He can drive a movie. He can wear the suit. He looks great in it. Chicks love him. So, yeah, it's like a no-brainer. They gotta, I mean, if Dwayne Johnson fucking pulled this off, that's fucking amazing. Like, that's at least a good pillar for the WB to start rebuilding with.
Absolutely. If they're doing this 10-year plan and they want to reset things, and how can you say no to The Rock, man? He's fucking charming as fuck. He's been doing a lot of press, and I was watching Access Hollywood, and they even CBS this morning did a whole piece on him and how he wants to be more of a father. But what a just charming motherfucker. Did you see there's a video out? It was on Access Hollywood. He was in front of a crowd giving a presentation, and some dude crowd surfed his baby up to The Rock so The Rock could hold him. The baby. It was like the baby Jesus coming over the fucking crowd, and he grabbed it and then crowd surfed it back, which is very delicate and dangerous.
Yeah, that I don't know if I would fuck with that. That sounds like a very dodgy thing.
Would you pass your baby to a stranger just so they could pass him up to The Rock?
I wouldn't pass a puppy.
No, I know.
Like a baby.
That was wild.
Anthony, would you take your dog and throw him on a crowd?
That's
the,
what
the only person I would probably do that to is Imran. I would just pass.
Yeah,
Imran.
everyone always gets past.
Oh,
Imran.
you can't lift my fucking fat ass up. Come on, it would need a large crowd of at least thousands just to move me inches. But yeah, no, he's very charismatic and like down to earth, and they keep saying he is the highest paid actor currently. Which I was looking up some things. This year, I think Tom Cruise took that because I think he made $100 million for Top Gun Maverick. But he's definitely up there, I guess.
Yeah, Tom Cruise is the GOAT.
Do you think we could see Shazam and Superman? I think Superman is going to be in the post-credit scene of this movie.
I think that's probably what's going to happen. He's in a post-credit.
Yeah, just a little hint. But just to see that's people going to lose their shit. And a lot of goodwill, like you said, is going to be returned to the DC movies, and maybe The Rock can just help them just make good movies, because that's what they need. Speaking of opening numbers, box office, the movie is tracking to open around 70 to 75 million opening weekend, which would make it the biggest opening of The Rock's career, surprisingly.
Bigger than the Fast and Furious?
That's what one of these articles said. I don't know about that. Yeah. What are the Fast and... Well, look, I think it's under. I think this thing opens over 75 million. Venom opened at 80 million. Now, is Venom the character more popular than The Rock, the personality?
Person, right.
Yeah, Black Adam doesn't have a lot of cachet, but The Rock does.
The Rock could put butts in seats?
Yeah, I think that, The Rock doing a superhero film... I think 70, 75 million. That sounds about right. Let's just try to look at Fast 5. Go ahead.
The commercials look like it's got a high budget, and people are going to be, waiting for something kind of spectacular to happen. So, we haven't had a big, spectacular film in a couple of months, I guess. What was the last thing that came out?
Thor,
Love and Thunder was the last.
Yeah, so we're ready for another big movie.
Well, October gives us Black Adam, and then just 2 weeks later, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever comes out.
For what it's worth, Fast 5 did 86 million opening weekend, but maybe that's because they're not saying The Rock was the lead.
That's like an ensemble, right?
Are you guys excited about Black Adam? I gotta admit, I like The Rock. I like the trailers, but I could not be any less enthused about seeing this movie.
Yeah, I want to go see a movie.
Yeah,
I like going to watch movies.
I'm looking forward to seeing something new.
I know it's not going to be great. I think it'll be like okay, but
I think it's a surprise. Go ahead, Imran.
No, I think it may surprise us. Like, these promos have been getting me interested. It looks cool. Like, visually, there's a lot of characters. If you're resetting this, the Justice Society of America is being introduced, and hopefully this does impact like the future where these movies are going, and it could do some world building. But I'm kind of like in the middle of Geek Boner, Floppy Jock, maybe slightly Geek Boner, but more in the middle.
Yeah, I'm not enthused at all. I don't think I would. I probably would still see it, but there's nothing. And I like The Rock. I don't even know why. It's just maybe I'm just glazed over. I think it's just DC overall doesn't excite me right now.
Yeah, I think that's a problem that's going to stain it. It's going to be interesting to see how much it opens and how much buzz and legs. Like, it doesn't have a lot of time. But Black Panther: Wakanda Forever opens November 11th, which is 2-3 weeks away.
I think the fun with DC films is it's a roll of dice.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're going to get, and it could be complete shit. And if it's shit, it's like really bad, and that's funny too.
And that's fun. Yeah.
Well, it's fun to talk about the next day. So
that's true. They always definitely give you something to talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited to see this Hawkman and Dr. Fate and Atom Smasher, and to see if The Rock can shake off being The Rock and become like a Black Adam character. Probably not.
He's The Rock. He's just always like Arnold's always going to be Arnold. Like, that's it.
Yeah. No, and the one line where he's like, "There's no one on this planet that can stop me." That's what also makes me think, was that like a subtle reference to Superman? I don't know, or just aliens in general. But yeah, it's not hot. Yeah, it's not super geek boner. Not like Black Panther. I'm really looking forward to that. Listener, let us know. How geeked are you for Black Adam? Join our Facebook group. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. There's a link in the show notes. It is an exclusive closed group just for our listeners. You can meet a lot of fun people, geek out, a lot of fun spoiler threads, and things going on in there. You know what everybody does. Go and do it. It's fun. Okay, next thing. Remember this Spawn movie that Todd McFarlane has been working on for what seems like 10 years that he wants to direct.
Moving really slow.
Yes, and initially he was like, I'm going to direct it, even though he's never directed a movie in his life. He thinks he could just pick up and directing. And then we had the announcement that Jamie Foxx is attached to be Spawn. Jamie Foxx still attached to play Spawn, but now Todd has enlisted the help of actual writers, Hollywood movie writers, to help him write this. This movie's been in the works since 2017, and now he has added the writing team of Scott Silver, who wrote Joker, and Malcolm Spellman, who we know from The Falcon and the Winter Soldier and the upcoming Captain America New World Order, and then a new guy named Matthew Mixon. But those are two good names, two good kind of hot writers right now, and it's possible that he may have come to his senses and maybe find a director to McFarlane. I don't think you should be directing this movie.
I want to see what he does, though. That's part of the reason I would go see it.
Oh, to see how bad Todd directs a movie?
Yeah, because that's funny to me.
What is there less of a desire for now?
Did you ever watch the Frank Miller directed movie that he did with The Spirit?
Yeah, it was. I know that it's bad.
That movie is fucking insane.
Yeah.
Say what you want. It's not conventional. It's fucking ridiculously
I might have to
weird.
Check that out. I don't think I've ever seen.
It's not a good movie, but it's not like a predictably it's just really fucking Frank Miller.
Is it in black and white?
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. It's terrible, and it's still. You scratch your head at some of the decisions, but you're getting Frank Miller, and I think that's at least unique.
Wow. Because it's Alec Baldwin with a big schnoz, right? Like a fake nose.
No, that's The Shadow.
Oh, that's The Shadow. Oh, The Spirit.
The Spirit.
The Will Eisner guy with the domino.
Yeah, it's in black and white, like Allison City.
Who played The Spirit?
Some nobody.
Oh, okay. 2008. Oh, man. I kind of want to check out this.
Samuel L. Jackson's
Sam Jackson's in it. Anthony, what are you less excited for? A new another Spawn movie or Black Adam?
Oh man, another Spawn movie. Just because I didn't grow up while reading Spawn at all. I've read probably no Spawn comics.
Oh, really?
Where I have read stuff with Black Adam in it, and I do think Black Adam's a cool character.
Yeah,
it's more just the DC. I'm just glazed over when I hear DC stuff happening.
I mean, he's trying to make an R-rated Spawn, and Spawn is the longest running independent comic book. It's the thing that started Image. I have the first issues when it started. I bought that shit. It was great, and then I just and the HBO cartoon is good. That one's pretty good. The movie is
cartoon.
Yeah, there's a HBO adult animated one season, I think, of Spawn. Yeah, it's probably on HBO Max.
It's pretty creepy.
That might be better than this movie.
It's dark.
Yeah, but okay. What are the odds that this movie ever gets made, Rug Boy? I feel like this movie's never going to come out. It's not happening.
It might not, but let's see. I hope it does.
Also, what do you think, Anthony?
What's that?
What does this movie ever come out?
Yeah, I mean everything comes out at some point. they Hollywood is always looking for shit that they can easily adapt. So yeah, at some point it'll come out. I mean they made a Dredd film. They made a Hellboy remake.
They made two Dredd films. Yeah,
they're doing Constantine 2. They're doing You know
what? You're right. Give Spawn another movie. If they've done those double
give him
movies.
A movie.
What's funny is McFarlane kind of
He-Man. They're doing He-Man. Well, they haven't done a movie, but they've done animated stuff.
Yeah, they were supposed
to do a movie of that too at some point.
They were supposed to be working on a movie, but I think that got shit canned. McFarlane bungles this release. You know how on Sunday he was like, big reveal Spawn movie coming tomorrow, and this handwritten scratchy thing. Everyone's like, oh shit! And then on Monday he goes, sorry, the timing's off. It'll be tomorrow on Tuesday. So he puts it out a day late. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe he did that on purpose to get people's attention. And then this was the news, is that he got actual writers. I don't think this movie's coming out. Let's move on to a movie that is coming out, and it is the Super Mario's animated movie. They put out their trailer, and remember we discussed when first announced that Chris Pratt and Charlie Day were cast as the voices of Mario and Luigi, and Italians had a field day, didn't they, Ruggs?
What was that again?
he said that Chris Pratt and who got it? Jack Black?
Charlie Day are
Charlie
cast
Day got
as
cast
Mario
as Italians, and Italians were very upset, or the internet was very upset.
Yeah, I don't know why, but you got to give them a chance. I mean, Charlie Day makes sense because he sounds like kind of almost like an East Coast guy. Always
like
Sunny in Philadelphia.
Squeaky.
So it's
yeah.
He sound. Chris Pratt just sounds so white bread, and so he's gonna have to put on some kind of an accent. I saw the trailer and I detected notes of a slight inflection.
All right, here, I'm going to play the very end of this trailer. It's one sentence. We get to hear Chris Pratt's Mario voice, and we can see if it's our favorite Italian player, Mario, how close he gets.
Mario!
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come.
Okay, it's a little New York.
He said here. He says here we
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come. I guess that could work.
It's fine. It's just a little, should be a little more, it's either you got the video game Mario, which is like, it's me, Mario.
Yeah. And there's a lot of cartoon Marios, right, that are voiced by
Captain Lou Albano did it.
Yeah, he did one. A lot of non-Italians actually voiced this other guy named, what's his name? Charles Martinet voiced him on the cartoon in the 90s and in some games, but it's fine. What did you think of the trailer? I actually thought it looked kind of fun. Like, the graphics were decent. It's all CG, and like, I think this is the way to do Mario. It looks like the game, but it also looked kind of neat.
I think it'd be fun. Let's see what happens. Like, it's Mario. It's not really dear to my heart. It's just, to me, a video game character that I don't know the lore of Mario. But yeah, it was weird that Chris Pratt was cast, but I think the look of it, everything else besides that is like, that's the one thing that I think is like a little bit weird, but not really.
But do we want him going, it's the me, Mario? Like, that's going to get people mad too.
No, we don't want that.
Anthony, you played the Mario? You see this? What do you think?
I grew up playing Mario on Nintendo and Super Nintendo. Even though I grew up playing the game, I have no... It was in my childhood, but it's not something that I've related to and been like, this is an important part of my childhood, and they have to get this right. So I don't have any attachment to it, really. The trailer itself, I mean, it looks exactly like how Mario should look with modern technology.
Right.
So on that front, it's not a Sonic situation where they had to completely change the character once the internet saw how it looked. So that it looks fine there. Like, it looks great. As far as Chris Pratt, I mean, I thought it was a weird casting when they did it, just because I can point out Chris Pratt's voice anywhere.
Yeah.
You can tell he's doing a little bit of Brooklyn, like a New York accent.
Yeah.
But it's like one line, so really can't judge that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, it's voice acting, right? So at the end of the day, ideally, you would love to have an Italian in there. But it's also acting.
Like, if they got Sebastian Maniscalco to be Mario, that would be perfect.
Well, Sebastian Maniscalco is in the movie as another character.
Yeah, they should have had him be Mario.
And Chris Pratt did the Lego movie.
So I don't think he's an actor, so really,
Pratt's
carry a movie.
Pratt's not a bad voice actor. He's done lead voice acting things before. So, yeah, weird choice, but I think the kids are going to dig this Mario, and it's going to be hot. I love playing the Mario games. And the music, you got to have the music from the original games.
Sure.
Okay, one last thing before we get to it. Listener, check out our TeePublic shop. Pick up some Jock and Nerd merchandise, some swag. Visit jockandnerd.com/shop. And we got hoodies and T-shirts and tank tops and cell phone cases and a ton of stuff with the old logo, new logo, Rug Boy's face, Rug Boy's saying, spoiler time shirts. Lots of fun stuff. Check it out right now. Not right now. Whenever you want. It's always there. It's 24 hours. What did I say? Last thing in the news. Here's another perplexing thing. Remember, Sony is earlier this year at CinemaCon, Sony announced that they're making a movie on a really, really obscure Spider-Man character as part of their Spider-Man-less universe of Spider-Man movies. El Muerto in development. With Bad Bunny playing the lead. According to the Wrap, they have a writer and director. Mexican filmmaker Jonás Cuarón will be the director, while Gareth Dunet Alcocer, who wrote Blue Beetle, was working on the script. Jonás Cuarón is the son of Alfonso Cuarón.
Okay.
Oscar-winning director. Yes. So that is interesting to me. I wonder if the kid's got chops just being around his dad. That's and Bad Bunny, fucking huge still, right? I think like how Black Adam will draw out the Rock fans if they make this movie. All the Bad Bunny fans are coming.
I don't know.
to
I don't think that doesn't always cross over. No.
I mean,
maybe there's
famous
people who are
artist.
diehard fans that might go, but like
You don't always. It doesn't always. Just because they're a famous artist doesn't mean people are going to go and see their movie.
this is one of the most transparently corporate studios.
You think so?
Sitting there thinking, oh, we could get this big star on this obscure character and we can use the Marvel banner, and it just reeks of fucking corporate bullshit and like
a little bit.
It sounds gross. Yeah.
It's Sony.
I mean, there's no way this is a good. This is up there with some of the worst ideas they've ever had.
It's like we have no narrative for this character. There's nothing interesting that at least has gotten into the zeitgeist where people are talking about El Muerto, and so there's no one clamoring for this movie. And he's a wrestler.
Yeah, so there's something kind of appealing about the fact that he's a luchador, and there's a mask with powers and a legacy and a lineage, and maybe it's in his family. I don't know what kind of powers it gives him. That's kind of interesting. But you also have like a Latino superhero in the lead in a superhero movie. Blue Beetle is going to give us that too, with the kid from Cobra Kai. So both of those things are great. We'll see which one does better. I heard Blue Beetle is actually pretty good. I've seen some of the shots of the costume. It doesn't look bad. It looks just like the comic.
There's no way this Bad Bunny movie or El Muerto movie is going to be good.
It can't.
Blue Beetle makes sense because it's got name recognition and people know the character. The character's been around a while.
Nobody
and
fucking
people
knows El Muerto.
Like, I've never seen a cosplay of El Muerto. Nothing. Figure I've never seen. They may exist, but it hasn't come across my radar, and I'm into this shit.
I know it's a Spider-Man character that I've never heard of or had read comics with El Muerto. I don't remember when this happened. I probably wasn't reading Spider-Man at the time, but you'd think I would have seen something.
It's fine if they want to take an obscure character, but I feel like they're going to try and shoehorn him into the Spider-Man world, like this whole Spider universe that they're doing at Sony.
Yeah, they got Madam Web coming, Kraven the Hunter, Spider-Woman.
Madam Web even makes more sense, but I mean, Madam Web is like perplexing too. It's like, who's going to make a movie about this old lady who's blind who sees into the future? Like, that's whatever.
Listen, Sony will give fucking Aunt May a solo movie if you fucking let them.
Sony's so desperate. Yeah, they got to cut. It just reeks of desperation.
I am excited for the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse 2 parts that they're working on. Probably the only thing I'm excited about. But Bad Bunny wasn't
dignified.
He was in Bullet Train. I don't know how. I haven't seen it. I still want to see that movie. But I did not a lot of acting there. Just a weird thing. But the Cuarón connection may help elevate it. Who knows? Depends on the script.
That movie has a very small chance of being any good and being successful.
Remember Morbius?
Yes, we all remember
when the studio made 3 different movies and then sliced them all together,
and shoved them together.
Yeah,
and then got tricked into re-releasing the movie because they thought people thought it was good, and then they put it out again and nobody went. This is the same studio. So, Sony, I don't know what you're doing. All right, let's take a quick break here. I'm going to play some promos, and we're going to come back and talk about Marvel's Monsters on Disney Plus right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hello, Gerald from Two Peas on a Podcast here. So you're listening to a podcast that you love right now. Chances are I love it too. In the independent podcast community, we all support each other, which is why you're currently hearing this promo. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about my show in the hopes that maybe you'll check it out. I welcome a different co-host each week, usually other podcasters, friends of mine, or random folks from the entertainment industry. Together, we count down our top 5 favorite things for whatever that week's topic is. It's often centered around music, movies, TV, and pop culture. We have over 250 episodes spanning nearly 5 years of programming, so there's bound to be something on our feed that's just for you. We release new episodes of 2Ps every Wednesday. For links to all of our content and to subscribe via your favorite podcast app, just go to our website. It's www.2psonapod.com. We can't wait to welcome you to the party.
Do you like superheroes? Do you like movies, television shows, and comic books? Do you like listening to a guy rant about these things for hours on end? Well, then you're in luck, because you need to check out Podcapers, the official podcast of A Place to Hang Your Cape. Featuring me, Scott James Merridew, we'll be talking about a variety of geek and nerdy issues, joined each week by a rotating panel of guests that will try to contain me. Jokes on them, I cannot be contained. So please join us on Podcapers, the official podcast of A Place to Hang Your Cape, where superheroes go to relax, but I never do. Cue the music!
Jock and Nerd.
Listener, if you enjoy this podcast and you enjoy the laughs we try to give you, I think you get laughs. I can hear you laughing on the other end of this, listener. Give back to all the entertainment value by joining our fan club. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Jock and Nerd. You can support and give back to the show on a monthly or annual basis, and you get fun things like an exclusive podcast feed with bonus content, access to monthly Discord hangouts. You get the option to make us watch and review any movie you want. Lots of fun stuff, all at jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Sign up today. Check it out. Let's get to this week's review. It is the very special presentation from Marvel on Disney Plus titled Werewolf by Night. Here is your spoiler alerts.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
Prepare to be spoiled!
Now, this is based on the comic book character published by Marvel, Werewolf by Night. First appearance, Jack Russell, Werewolf by Night, Marvel Spotlight #2 in February 1972. Jack Russell was created by Roy Thomas, Gene Thomas,
dog?
Jack Russell. Yeah, not the dog, the person. His name is Jack Russell. I thought of that too. I was like, Jack Russell. Man, Werewolf by Night created by Roy Thomas, Gene Thomas, Jerry Conway, and Mike Plug. And this was a time in the history of comics where the Comics Code Authority had relaxed its codes and its laws and allowed Marvel to make supernatural comics again and horror comics. And they made a bunch of monster vampire comics. Werewolf by Night was one of them. And I believe Moon Knight first appeared in a Werewolf by Night, right? That was his first appearance. So that's who the show is based on. On Rotten Tomatoes, this show is currently 92% on the tomato meter.
Special presentation?
Special presentation. It's not a show. It's not a movie. Right. It's a special presentation.
It's a Shovie.
It's a Shovie. It's not on Amazon Freebie. It is directed and composed by Michael Giacchino. First time directing and also did the music, double duties. Written by Heather Quinn, Peter Cameron, starring Gael Garcia Bernal as Jack Russell. You have Laura Donnelly as Elsa Bloodstone, and a bunch of other people. Those are really the two main people you need to know right now. Anthony, set us up. What happens in this about hour-long black and white special presentation, Werewolf by Night?
Well, as you mentioned, it's a black and white special presentation by Marvel.
Special.
In the month of October, so it has a horror Halloween type element to it.
Nice.
And it is a throwback, I would say, to the Universal Monsters era of movies, Hollywood. And it is about the Bloodstone family and the is it Ulysses? Is it what's the guy's name?
Ulysses is the old father who dies.
Ulysses Bloodstone, who's been hunting monsters, has died, and he has this family heirloom. I think what's it called? The red.
It's called the Bloodstone.
The Bloodstone. There we go.
Yeah, I think it's called the Bloodstone.
Oh, okay. So it's the Bloodstone, and in his death, he has assembled some of the finest hunters in the land to perform one hunt in the middle of the night in their maze to hunt down this monster. And whoever the hunter is that kills the monster will get the bloodstone and continue on Ulysses' tradition or his legacy. And there are some hunters in here. There's a variety of hunters, including someone that's a little bit suspicious in Jack Russell, who is also invited and supposedly has killed 100 people. And there's someone else that's invited, Elsa Bloodstone, who didn't really grow up with her dad, and it seems like she doesn't really like her dad and is kind of the black sheep, disgraced her family, left, but she's all of a sudden shown up for this hunt, and they're all involved, and there are some monstrous surprises along the way.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a solid plot of like a monster, a 30s monster movie. What did you think of this Marvel's first special presentation, Anthony?
So I mentioned before that I grew up liking the Universal monsters, so this kind of throwback, even though I don't watch those movies anymore, was definitely a callback to the things I've seen as a kid. And overall, I would say I liked it. I think it was well done. I liked that it felt different, and they tried something. The runtime was, I wouldn't say it was perfect. I actually think it could have been a little longer, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
And I would say overall, I wasn't over the moon about it. I wouldn't say it was my favorite thing ever, but I was pleasantly surprised. I think it was very well executed. I liked the homages they made to that era of movies with some of the practical effects and the way they shot stuff and the music cues. And I was most impressed with Michael Giacchino being a composer and directing this. I never would have put the dots together that this director, or this composer who's super famous, would be able to do something like this. So I thought it was really cool. I thought it was really cool that Marvel let him do it. It's from all the things I've read. They asked him what he wanted to do, and he said this, and they were like, okay. So everything I've read is that, and I like that they took a little bit of a risk here, and I'd like to see some more stuff like this at some point. And I hope we see this character again.
Yeah, I think these monsters will become important moving forward. And Ruggs, what did you think of this thing and the reveal of Ted in the show?
Well, I want to start in a different place. Okay. So, musicians, directors, we have a few. You got Rob Zombie, and all of a sudden he puts out some stuff, and his latest contribution was The Munsters, which I have not seen, but does not look good. No. But now you have a person
critically blasted by Ruggs.
So if you take Rob Zombie's music, it's on a certain level. Now, by comparison, Michael Giacchino's music is on a much higher level. Yeah, this dude's operating on an artistic level far beyond Rob Zombie, I believe. So no surprise to me that when the movie is directed, it's directed in a very competent way, with a high caliber of artistry going on. So I was not surprised that Michael Giacchino could pull this off, and I was happy to see all the influences from the early Universal monster movies. I did love seeing the Man-Thing, Ted.
Man-Thing is great. Oh my God, we got Man-Thing.
I feel like that character had, without any emotion, being able to talk, had enough, a lot, high emotive range.
Absolutely.
100%.
And they pulled that off well. I was also, I enjoyed it. I thought it was very competent. I had problems with story stuff and this and that, but like overall, I thought it was good, and I did want to see it be a little longer. So they could have gotten another 10 minutes, and but I think the story kind of resolved itself. It just was over so quick, and we could have found out more about some of the characters. It would have added more.
Yeah,
I thought it was strange that Blade was not there.
Well, I mean, we're talking Marvel monsters, and that like Midnight Suns, they could be possibly setting up. In fact, like Man-Thing, Werewolf by Night, Elsa Bloodstone, they're all part of Midnight Suns. I was surprised maybe Moon Knight. You could throw in Moon Knight. You could throw in Blade. They could have done a Blade hint. I really like this. I like that it's like Marvel's first horror thing. It's very different than the rest of the MCU. It was fucking gory and kind of violent, and there's blood splurting, and she's chopping arms off and biting ears off. And beautifully shot in black and white. Really impressive. They built that whole garden set, and the practical effects. I believe the Man-Thing was a large part was an actual suit and a puppeteer done practically, and it looks great. I love that only the Bloodstone.
Actually, I don't think that's completely true from what I heard. When the arm comes out and hugs Werewolf by Night, that's practical, but the rest is pretty much CGI.
Well, I saw there's a puppeteer credited, and I saw
they had the werewolf. They had someone on set, so that the people could interact with the Man-Thing.
Oh,
they had a lot of it was CGI.
I believe I saw a set photo, and there was like the Man-Thing suit in the back. Like I think they made a suit.
They did. They had some. Yeah, they didn't have someone in green or CGI stuff. They had something that people could interact with.
Yeah, no, it looked great. I thought the acting
was good.
The acting was very good. Gael what's his name? I can't say his name.
Gael Garcia Bernal.
I always forget what order is in. Gael Garcia Bernal did good, and I was surprised. The music is amazing. Like the way he captures the 30s scores of those horror movies, and I was kind of impressed and surprised by Giacchino's direction. He's a good director.
Yeah.
And we get a couple of important characters like Elsa Bloodstone. I love the beginning, the Marvel logo where it's interrupted, turns to black and white. And
I thought that was great with the claws going through and the screams.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I love when they do shit like that.
And then the music for it turned like you could tell it turned like a 30s kind of tinge.
Yeah.
The way they started changing the Marvel score as it was going through.
Yeah, and you see the little reel marks on the side and just the whole like scruffy, scratchy film grain look. And, it does end eventually. It comes into color, which is a nice touch. I love the way that ended. But
they didn't need Somewhere Over the Rainbow, though. That was a little...
But I think it's a thematic thing, right? Because...
It's Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz. And when that happens, she
turns color.
She comes into color, and she's wearing ruby red jacket. And in Wizard of Oz... it goes the other way. Yeah, when she goes into
her hair's supposed to be red. Was it red? I don't remember.
Well, so largely Man-Thing and Werewolf by Night, very comic accurate. Elsa Bloodstone, who was first appearance in 2001, was invented. She has like this orange jumpsuit and red hair. Yeah, so they didn't do that. I don't know if her hair was red in this, but yeah, same thing. Wizard of Oz.
Did you think that actress was Jessica Jones?
No, she does look
look like Kristen Ritter. Yeah,
she does.
Point. I didn't think of that until you pointed that out.
No,
I was like, they could be sisters.
Laura Donnelly. And I think moving forward, like it ends with her in possession of the Bloodstone, right? So I think she's going to be an important character. I think Jack Russell and Man-Thing, Ted, who's the name in the comic, he was Dr. Theodore Salas. So his name was Ted.
His name is Ted, yeah.
Yeah, and Man-Thing created in 1971. I loved, and a little bit of humor that was in there kind of worked, like how Ulysses Bloodstone was like an automaton, like a animatronic from a Disney park, right? Like it was just hilarious.
That's pretty dark.
Yeah, it's very dark, and he's just like, "I'm rotting for you." It was really silly, but then it gets fucking violent when he does finally transform into Werewolf by Night. I love how it
was violent before that.
It was violent before that. She cuts
off the dude's arm. She sticks an arrow through his face, and he's like gurgling blood, and she's laying with him and covering his mouth, and then they like cut, and you could see still the arrow through his face. Like they were doing things they don't normally do, I think, because of the black and white, but they were doing like the lingering shots on skulls, on axes and heads, and arrows through faces, and they were doing blood spatter against the camera.
Oh yeah, when it got on the lens, that was crazy.
Yeah.
That's all chocolate syrup. Look, I did this student film in black and white where there was a lot of blood, and I was just drenched in chocolate syrup. Best day of my life.
That wasn't a student film. That was a Tuesday in New York for you.
That was a pervert that found Aaron.
I'm covered with chocolate syrup, and it's delicious. I'll lick it off myself. Don't worry. You don't need a towel. It's fine.
They made him play Tarzan in the shower.
But in black and white, chocolate syrup makes great blood. It's exactly the same viscosity.
Let's start with just the werewolf design first.
Yes,
what did we think of the actor, the design, the way he moved? I guess I'll start in saying I liked that it was throwback.
Yeah.
I will say like the throwback look at times look a little too cheap at some points.
Yes.
Like I don't know like if I could imagine that character interacting with Iron Man or like anyone in the Marvel, but I think there's potential there to make it better.
Yeah.
But I did appreciate what they were doing, and I really liked the way they had him move with wire work and had him like when he's transforming and they're doing the shots where she's reacting in horror and
beautiful shot.
The lens flares are going off, and it's just like this is straight out of a 1930s
The
film.
strobe light, and you see the shadow behind her, and the strobe, like that whole sequence was fantastic. It really was.
And then when he's in the hall and he's taking out the things and the door's closing so that the light is going out.
More strobing light and just kill after kill and blood on the lens. That was fucking fantastic. I will agree that at times it looked like kind of a bad homemade Halloween costume, right? Now, to be clear, this design of this werewolf is not like where American Werewolf in London or like in Thriller where the individual face elongates to become a wolf. This is he remains with a humanoid
Lon Chaney werewolf.
Yes, which is totally a throwback to the man wolf and a throwback to how the character looks in the comic. Wolfman, right? Yeah. Wolfman, because that one shot where it's just the white little dots in his eyes and he's slowly coming forward. That shit was dope. But it also, that is what he looks like in the comics. He has a humanoid face. So, I do agree that, like, I don't see how he would be. These monsters got to have to be in their own little thing. I don't know if even Moon Knight standing next to him doesn't look right. What do you think, Ruggs, of the design of the werewolf?
I think it was fine. I do prefer a little bit of a different kind of werewolf, but I think it was fine. I think what you want to do is you want to create something that an act, like if they're going to bring this guy back to do stuff, you don't want to rely on CG. You want to do a practical thing that it actually the actor can move around in and do stuff. So this makes the most sense. We've seen like cool werewolves, like in the Lycans from Underworld and all that other stuff.
Lycanthrope is the word for like werewolf lineage, right?
That's correct. Yeah. But I liked it. I thought it was cool as a throwback. There is, I feel like it's fine for what this is. I mean, we've seen like the Wolfman movie that they came out with Benicio del Toro. I was going to say Guillermo del Toro. Benicio del Toro.
Oh, yeah.
It's very similar, but the other one looked even more savage. So we've already had like a film version that was a tribute to the old Wolfman, and I think they did it better there.
Okay.
Slightly. This looks almost like the werewolf from that fucking TV show, the Teen Wolf TV show.
Oh, God.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does very Teen Wolf movie werewolf, yeah.
I mean, it kind of works because they're going for the throwback thing. I'm just thinking about if they were ever to incorporate it with other Marvel characters, it'd be like the Man Thing
looks great.
Like
compared to him.
As Ruggs said, the way it's able to just convey sadness or excitement just by eyes and like movement of the face without really any expression it's pretty awesome.
Like you see at that moment when Elsa first meets him and he's roaring at her and he's menacing and then she's just like, Ted? And then you see him relax and he's like, huh? Like he's a dog. He's like, oh, hi, okay. She's like, I love your name.
Just call him Ted.
Why? That's what his name is. His name is Ted. So great.
Yeah, no, Man Thing was I loved Man Thing.
I wanted to see more of Man Thing.
Surprised.
I love the moment where they free him and she pulls the stone off, and I love that he comes back at the end for the save. Wasn't expecting that, and then that shot at the end where he goes and he finds him. It turns into color, and they're buddies. They're taking care of each other.
Well, what time period do you think this is? Because they kind of they don't give it away, but when they're hanging out at the end,
that looks like now.
And he mentions sushi.
Oh yeah,
so they're not eating sushi in the 30s.
No. Yeah, that's a good point. In the beginning, you wouldn't know. You would think it's set in the past,
the 20s or 30s. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's got coffee and a French press there, and there's a guitar. Who's playing the guitar?
There's no cell phones.
There's no cell phone. That's true.
So I mean, I think Marvel definitely left it ambiguous just so that they didn't have to do all the gymnastics of telling us when it happened, and they don't need to. Just a fun little thought experiment of where was this if they're talking about sushi, but they look like that.
Well, sushi's been around, but not, I guess, over here in the Western. That's relatively recent. Even this color shot at the end of fucking
Where does
Ted.
this take place? Is it America?
We no one. It doesn't. They don't tell.
That's a good question. Also,
I loved. By the way, speaking of where it takes place. I loved the way they set up that set in the back.
Yeah,
where it's like a maze.
Yeah,
and they show an overhead shot, so you know exactly what you can imagine what it is. But then when you're in there, you're like, oh, I can see how this would be kind of weird, like scary.
Yeah.
Like, around every corner there might be something. My only criticism, honestly, of the special was I think this could have been a little longer, and I think that second act could have been a little longer. Like I think they get to the hunt, and the hunt ends really quick.
Well, and he doesn't turn into the werewolf right until like,
I don't think that's necessary. I just think if you're having the whole premise is built around the hunt, and then the hunt takes like 5 minutes.
Right, it ends. He escapes. They get the stone, and then it's like a whole other thing. Yeah,
this is my critique of it, and
go for it.
You might not like what I'm about to say, but I don't give a fuck. They do this. They've been doing this too many times. And I feel like this is repetitive, is when they tell you it's going to be Werewolf by Night, but it's really an Elsa Bloodstone movie.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
And they always do that. They put that, and they just use it to kind of, they use like the name recognition or the draw character, and then they kind of put in this other character, and then they make it all about them. And you come away going, okay, what's the Elsa Bloodstone sequel coming out? And which is fine, but like I don't know anything about the werewolf. I don't know anything about Ted.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about those characters that they were supposedly like the main characters. But now it's really Elsa Bloodstone is the main character.
I mean, no, you're right. They did. It's a 50-minute thing.
Yeah,
and you had Werewolf by Night, Elsa, and Man Thing all kind of starring.
Yeah,
that's just not enough time.
But the only one that got exposition was Elsa.
Yeah, we still don't really know. I think that maybe that's kind of a little bit of why I want to see Werewolf though again is I thought the guy on screen was intriguing.
Yeah,
like the way you could tell right from the beginning that he was different than everyone else. Actually, that's one of the other things I did really like is because they only had 55 minutes, they were really economic in terms of not having to over-explain anything. They were just like Elsa, right off the bat, she hates her dad, and she's got training because she says something along the lines of "I wasn't trained by him," right? But like they don't because they had less time. I think they were really efficient in getting to the points where you could understand and be like, okay, I'm down for the story. But I do agree, like Werewolf, that character, we really don't know anything about him still.
Dude, she embedded a sword in that one dude's head. That was amazing. That dude that looked like Marilyn Manson. I don't know what his deal was.
I think that's a woman.
Oh, was that a woman? Well, I don't know. Anyways, they're all dead. They all died.
Well, they do. Yeah, she puts the sword in his head.
It's
it was good.
Surprisingly violent. Also, about the time period, you notice there's a lot of phonographs, old timey record players in this playing. So.
The record player out in the maze lawn thing too, right?
Yeah, and that was a phonograph. So I like how they're playing with like we don't know when this is, but I would have loved to see like Man Thing almost steals it, but now I want to see fucking Ted and Jack hang out. And clearly, you could do an amazing Midnight Suns. Give me like an Avengers style monsters crossover. Throw in Doctor Strange, Blade, Moon Knight, all these fuckers.
I think if you throw in Strange, it gets overpowered.
Well, that's true.
I think you'd leave we could play this game of like who the Midnight Suns would be. I would go Werewolf by Night, Man Thing,
Blade.
You would put
Blade for sure. Well, I would do Morbius, but I don't know. I don't know if I want.
Yeah,
Jared Leto Morbius.
Right.
I would consider doing. I would probably throw in Moon Knight as well, just because I think he fits the vibe.
Punisher was one at one point, and Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider would be fun. I mean, you could have a lot of fun with this.
Yeah.
You just think of the names, though. Like if they were to potentially do this, they would have Mahershala Ali, Oscar Isaac, Garcia Burnout, whatever the hell his fucking name is. Potentially, if they're doing Ghost Rider, like the big names that they're thinking about are like Keanu, Gosling, Norman Reedus. So like you could have a pretty star-studded staff.
And Garcia Bernal, apparently really good buddies with Diego Luna, who is playing Andor. So like these guys are ruling the screen. I think Diego like kind of gave him the entry into Disney and kind of talked him into doing this role. So
I also saw online people were throwing down Wong to be in the.
Oh, Wong could be fun in the Midnight Suns.
Or Elsa.
Yeah.
They were throwing in Elsa.
Elsa
Bloodstone.
is. She's like one of the members, I think, from the comics.
She'd probably set up the team.
Yeah, she would be like the Contessa Allegra Valentina, like Julie Louis-Dreyfus of the thing. I definitely think she's going to be a substantial character moving forward. And like, there's so many stones. We had the Infinity Stones. Now there's this Bloodstone, but there is a whole history to this and the precedent.
But if this is taking place in the past, this Midnight Suns has to take place in the past.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Well, there was rumors that Blade was supposed to be set in the 20s, 30s.
Yep. But now they're rewriting that whole fucking script, so who knows?
I mean, it definitely made me excited for a potential Midnight. I want to see this guy. When I watched it, the first thing I did after I thought about it was I looked up if there were any rumors that he'd return, because I was just like, I don't know how it fits at all, but I'd love to see this character. I'd love to see Man-Thing and this character come back.
Absolutely. You got to bring them back now that you've established them. I mean, they became instant favorites, especially Man-Thing, especially Ted.
Marvel, probably DC too, but I mean, there's runway here. If they wanted to do a Halloween special, they do have their own version of Dracula. They do have their own version of Frankenstein. Like,
yes.
They could do all these characters.
So, to that point, there's a fun Easter egg in the beginning where they're explaining things, and you see those drawings, like in the opening credits. There is a drawing of a Nosferatu vampire, which is the original Marvel vampire. There is a drawing of a Wendigo, a Sasquatch-looking thing that could be Wendigo. So, all these things may exist, and they can bring them out.
Well, do you think Sony looks at this and goes, green like that Man-Wolf movie?
man, we're gonna think they don't have the rights to Man-Wolf.
Well, they got Vermin.
Isn't he a Spider-Man villain? Man-Wolf?
Man-Wolf that's John Jameson. Yeah, it was J. Jonah Jameson's son.
His son.
Oh, fuck, I forgot about that. They could do a Man-Wolf. They're gonna do it.
What a lazy fucking name that is. How about Man-Wolf?
Wolfman? No, Man-Wolf. Oh, done. Copyright that shit.
I would love to see a Midnight Suns movie.
Yeah, I mean, just it's exciting that they're opening up this like monster corner, and this is like another genre that they
do right in the beginning. They go basically the Avengers take care of shit,
right?
But we need shit to take care of monsters. Like there's another underworld to this.
The other side, the underbelly of this. Yeah, that's exciting. And do we want to see more special presentations? Remember, we talked a couple weeks ago how the rumor was Marvel is looking at some of their upcoming 6-episode series and maybe we'll be adapting them into these special presentations. Maybe make them a little bit longer.
I think they should make them a little longer.
Yes, make them a little bit longer. Like, make it movie length, like 90 minutes.
Not movie length.
No?
I would say this would have been perfectly fine as 110, 120.
Okay. I guess you can make it whatever. It doesn't have to be any...
Like 70 minutes.
70
That's
minutes.
good.
Yeah.
110, and I think it actually really feels like those one-shots they would do with comics.
Yes.
Where I think it has precedence in the comics, and also it's more. I think it's a better way to experiment with characters rather than greenlighting shows and going, let's do 6 Miss Marvel or 6, Moon Knight. Instead, do the special, test the audience that way, and then create a show or movie after.
That's how they used to do it.
Yeah.
They used to do that like little mini series, and then they'd greenlight it into a series.
It seems like they're doing it backwards.
Yeah.
They're greenlighting things that don't even have enough legs for a series.
Like Echo.
Oh, God, Echo, Agatha, like, what are we doing?
Well, both of these, hopefully in Echo, we're going to see like Daredevil, Wilson Fisk, and Agatha, maybe fucking Scarlet Witch shows up or comes back. Right?
Maybe Agatha's going to be in the Midnight Suns.
Maybe she's in the Midnight Suns.
Oh my God.
Well, look, the one color that was in here was red magic, chaos magic. I made that connection. I wonder if they did that on purpose.
Yeah, I wonder. I didn't really understand what the Bloodstone does, but it seemed like she didn't really want anyone to have it. She didn't think these people were.
Well, according to lore, what does the Bloodstone do?
Oh, you know who we forgot while he looks that up?
Yeah.
We forgot Black Knight will probably be in the Midnight Suns.
Dane Whitman. Yeah.
Dane Whitman. Mr.
John
what's
Snow
that guy's
there.
actor's?
Kit Harington.
Kit Harington, yeah.
He is the Black Knight. He could also be, he could be in this. I don't see
I mean,
why
there
not.
was, did you say this already? Punisher was Franken Punisher at one point.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
Okay, it's comics.
It's comics. Just go with it.
Why not? Rex, what does the Bloodstone do exactly?
All right, so it grants you superhuman stamina, agility, senses, and vast regenerative powers. So maybe you can live for a long time without aging, like a Highlander or something.
So this would have to be used to hunt monsters, like specific,
Yeah, it says it's called the Blood Gem. Here we call it the Bloodstone for some reason.
Yeah.
But it's called the Blood Gem, and immortality is one of those things. So Elsa Bloodstone could appear, and maybe the werewolf is a different werewolf. Maybe he passes his werewolf powers onto, but like maybe the werewolf causes him to be immortal too. I don't know.
I read this other theory that it could be possible that Jack is the one who killed Ulysses Bloodstone. And then once Elsa finds out, that's going to be an issue because we don't know how he died. We really don't know anything about Jack, do we? Like,
no.
What do we really know about?
We don't know anything. Even all that he likes sushi.
Yeah,
we don't. We know that he's a good guy.
Yeah,
that's the thing. We know he's a good guy. We know when I do like this when they do these in movies or any plot is when they have what you think are the monsters and then you realize the humans are the monsters.
Yeah,
they do that, so you realize in that moment that he's a good guy. One question for you guys, we probably should have led with this, is what are your guys' history with horror comics like this?
Yeah, I was gonna mention that. Myself, I was never a big like monster comic guy. Like I was never into these things.
Like the darker corner of the Marvel universe.
Yeah, it just I don't know why it never appealed to me. I was aware of them, but like I never followed them. What about you, Rex?
I love Dracula and Frankenstein and all that stuff. So I did read some of this stuff. I did read Moon Knight. I did read some Werewolf by Night and some Morbius and some Blade.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, big time into Ghost Rider from when Mark Texeira did the artwork. And that was just fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And really just when they redesigned Ghost Rider from the 70s to like the mid 80s or early 90s, that shit was badass. Yeah. I was like so into the Ghost Rider. That was I like Damien Hellstrom as well.
Oh, Hellstrom, yeah, they had the TV show on Hulu one season.
Well, that's not him.
It was
that's
not
it.
Yes,
that's just Hellstrom, whatever.
Yeah.
But I like that. I like that. I think who was doing that? Was that Garth Ennis or the other guy that like is? It could have been Garth Ennis. Or the other guy that kind of like imitates Garth Ennis. Forgot his name. But he did like a run in the 90s too. That was really kind of edgy and dark.
Okay.
I'm not really a horror guy, but it's weird because like I don't consider myself to be a horror guy, but I love monsters.
Yeah, same.
Like I don't like ghosts, but like a vampire is cool, werewolf is cool. I'm not really into slashers or like Hellraiser or even like Freddy Krueger or Chucky. Any of that stuff I'm not into, but I like monsters. I don't know what it is about monsters. Yes, but that stuff. No, I don't know where it stops.
I'm completely with you on that. I'm super into the Universal monsters.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think it stops at vampires and werewolves and doesn't go into like slashers and murder? I feel like maybe it's fantastic.
Yeah, I think these movies, that era was more fantastical, and I was going to say spooky.
Yeah.
Whereas the other stuff is a little more. It's more revolves around the violence. Like the violence is supposed to be the scary part,
right?
Yeah.
Whereas these are more revolve around like there's some decent story there, and there's some like tragedy surrounding all these characters that I like. Whereas I mean, don't get me wrong, I kind of also like slashers, but it's not something that it's like these for me are just more fun.
And they're all largely tragic kind of backstories, right? So there's a human relatable element where, like, some of the slasher things, they're just killing they're evil just cuz, right? And you're just watching them.
Well, and you're not really you're rooting for the slasher. It's just a weird dynamic.
It's a different thing. No, but these monsters have character and character depth and emotion, and there's heart in there.
Like Dracula's a tragic figure.
Yeah.
Frankenstein's a really tragic figure. Like, the Wolfman, he's cursed. The Mummy is this person who's been like, he's also cursed. So all these things are like
Creature from the Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
they never asked to be these monsters. They never like sought out to be them. They just had become them or were born that way or something. And I think that it's also the fantastic story. It's like you're creating this whole like world building around this thing. Like there's this thing that doesn't exist in the normal world. But like a slasher, like that's just a dude with a knife, or a guy who's just crazy. And that's like real. And that's maybe, it does revolve around the violence and the kills and
it's too real
and the gore.
Yeah.
And it's not so like, even though there's gore and violence in this, it's like, it's not center stage. It's kind of like just a product of the fact that you have a monster and monsters do shit. So,
and then being a werewolf, like the tragedy of like one night a month, you have to lock yourself in your room or you're going to go out and fucking kill people. And it's just something you got to deal with. That's an interesting story.
Yeah, those movies were great. I remember watching those movies. They're all, they're iconic creations.
Yeah.
But this show, I thought the tension in this show was great. And the, again, back to some of the humor, like the bomb bit where he's trying to get the bomb to stick to the wall. Like that was kind of funny.
I did laugh out loud. I was like, and this is silly, but I did laugh when he throws it.
Like he's
got to run back and put it back
on. Holy shit, it's going to explode. And like the tension is great in that part. So I don't know. I think it just did a lot of things really right, like you said.
I really, really enjoyed that they gave Michael Giacchino a chance like this, because I would have you never would have expected that this great composer would do something like this and knock it out of the park. I think that really bodes well for Marvel, in terms of giving guys a shot that you wouldn't necessarily think could do something like this. And I think an outlet with Disney Plus is where you're creating a one shot like this is a perfect outlet. I think Phase 4 has been their experimentation phase with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And some of it's hit, some of it hasn't. But this is definitely a good hit. And I would say that I'm not sure if Ruggs, you tagged us in the video with Sean Chandler.
We will talk about that later. Yes.
Yeah, where he made Blade suggestions.
Yeah.
I don't know if he referenced Giacchino, but I think this guy should be in the running if he is.
And I kind of said, I said that last week. I was like, let's wait and see this Werewolf by Night. Maybe Giacchino's got the chops. I definitely think he can handle that project if they wanted to give it to him. But we'll get into that because Sean Chandler had a couple of good picks, and I want to.
Great picks, but I think Giacchino,
he did great.
They got to give him. They got to let him do something else.
Yeah, and the fact that he can kind of like, I read some articles about him, how he was like composing kind of back and forth on the spot so he could react to things and do the music like exactly how he wanted. So to be the composer and the director is a very unique situation.
Yeah, John Carpenter does that, but
that's right. Carpenter is the composer too.
I just think he's so talented to have done this and be also a great composer. I really admire that this guy did this.
Yeah, and that they were able to trust him, because who knows what would have happened. But again, you're in the Marvel, the thing's on rails. You're in the Marvel method. So, but I feel like they trusted him for his decisions, the character he wanted. To put it in black and white, I thought was a great move. And to pull the color in the end was also lovely, because you're kind of waiting for that to see if it would be, where's this black and white going? So, fucking hey. No, that thing was great. Let's just rate it. Anthony, what would you give this thing?
A very solid 8 out of 10.
Oh, shit. That's my score, too. I'm going to give it an 8. I'd rather enjoyed it. Ruggs, score it.
I think it's a 7.5 for me, just because they did the same trick over and over again.
Yeah.
They did it with Hawkeye. We knew that was going to happen. They did the same thing with
bait and switch.
Yeah, they keep doing it. So I'm like getting tired of that.
But to leave you wanting more is always a good thing, and I think this thing definitely does.
That's the only thing I have really against it. So, yeah.
It's just enough. All right, let's find out what our listeners thought in News from the Nation. It's time for News from the Nation. It's time for News from the Nation. That's it. That's all.
It stinks.
I'm all burps today.
Oh my God. That's right, listener. Rug Boy just farts live, burps live. You get him to queef if you give us enough Patreon money. Maybe next week.
I'm letting all the air out.
Any kind of flatulent air sound. Ruggs can do it live. It's amazing impersonations. You could take this show to Vegas, Ruggs. Be like, this is how Brad Pitt farts. And then you just do.
Yeah, sometimes I just do it with my hand under my armpit type thing.
Yes,
you know, do that
farts,
one.
There's different ways. You know all the techniques.
Do it with your hands, you know?
Yeah, it's not always from the mouth. There are trade secrets in this. Anyways, what did the listeners think in their Facebook group, Talking Nerd Nation? Billy Trosper wrote, now this is the type of content Marvel needs to be doing with characters that aren't large enough to warrant their own movie. I felt it was concise, had some fun moments with some decent action, and didn't seem very formulaic. While Phase 4 does have some letdowns, I believe this is one of the standouts so far. I hope they continue with bringing in different Marvel monsters. I'm excited to see more monsters. I like Marvel monsters. Bring them on. Blake Braden just said, loved it.
I fucking loved it.
John Bellotti Jr., so good, it got me back on the Marvel train. Man Thing, baby.
Yeah.
Bellotti liked it. Anybody surprised? I'm not surprised. No. Okay. Daryl K says, the 50s monster movie aesthetic, the R rating, the unique lighting and frame rate effects, relying on practical effects and minimal CGI, or it seems so. Now, this is more like it, Marvel. My only question is, where is Blade? Other than that, I loved it. The same thing Ruggs said. He's right.
That's right.
It could have been a little Blade drop, and you could have tied that in.
If it's back in the past, then that makes sense. But I don't know.
Blade could be in the past. Blade has been how old is Blade? He's been alive for fucking hundreds of years, right?
I don't think so.
No,
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Isn't he like doesn't age?
He's been around for a while. Yeah,
been around for a while.
I thought it was like from like the 20s or something. Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
Jesse Rodriguez says, this was fantastically done. Seeing Man-Thing was great, unexpected. Didn't watch a full trailer going into this. I do wish it was a tad bit longer since I was wanting more by the time it ended. This was a great, unexpected surprise. Hope everyone gives it a try. So, yeah, people really responding well to this. I thought it was great. Perfect for Halloween. Jesse Rodriguez also had a comment on our last episode, going back to what we were talking about, Blade, the director dropping out, the script being rebooted. Who should direct Blade? Jesse Rodriguez just commented, Chad Stahelski needs to direct Blade. Done. Boom. There it is. So,
I mean, that's a very locked on choice right there. That's like a perfect, I don't know about the horror effects, but like the action would be amazing.
Anthony, comment on Chad Stahelski directing Blade.
I think he's a Wick, right? John Wick?
He is the John Wick guy. Yes.
He'd be great. I don't know if Marvel can get him, but he'd be great.
He might be busy. They're doing 4, and I don't know how many more John Wicks are going to come
Highlander.
out. Oh, and he's doing Highlander with Henry Cavill.
That's
I believe.
right.
As fucking
insane.
That's going to be awesome, dude. That one I'm all in for. Fucking Highlander.
Oh, me too.
Chad Stahelski, Henry Cavill. So, going back to what I mentioned, Sean Chandler, Sean Talks Movies on his YouTube channel, put out a quick video. His 7 picks, who should direct Blade. The video starts with Chad Stahelski, the John Wick guy. Then he mentions David Leitch, who is the uncredited, also co-director of John Wick, but has done Deadpool 2 and a bunch of other action movies. Not a bad pick. Then he says Sam Hargrave, the guy who directed Extraction. That's not bad. Then he mentions this guy, Ilya Natschuler, the guy who directed Bob Odenkirk's Nobody, which is, I think that movie had some great fucking
directed
action.
that. Or we directed that. We reviewed
that.
It's a great movie.
Really fun movie.
If you could make Odenkirk a fucking action star who's a badass fighter, like, that's amazing. Like, he pulled that off, and it's a great movie. Kind of like a poor man's John Wick, sort of, you know. And then he does mention Michael Giacchino. He mentions Ryan Coogler, but his number one pick was James Wan from the Aquamans.
Oh, really?
James Wan has horror chops, and now he's got big budget acting chops. What do you think of James Wan directing?
That could definitely work. His action is good. It's a little big. I'd rather get like a guy who could work with a smaller budget and keep it creepy and tight and focused on martial arts and stuff and like cool kills and shit like that. No one mentioned Tim Miller.
Oh, Tim Miller.
He did Terminator Dark Fate, but he did the first Deadpool, right?
He did do the first Deadpool. I forgot about the Tim Miller. Yeah, give him another chance after Dark Fate, maybe.
Yeah, he's in a position where he probably might do it. No.
I mean, Brian Coogler would be great, but I think you should give Coogler like an Avengers movie.
He's probably getting Secret Wars.
Secret Wars, keep them busy.
I loved all these picks. I thought this was very well thought out. I do agree that if you're going to do, I haven't seen the original Blade, so I still have to watch Blade for our 90s. But I do know that movie is very action heavy, and if you're going to do a Blade movie and you're going to try to live up to that, you're going to need an awesome director that knows how to do action. So I thought all these were great. My pick, I think I like James Wan. I think he works well in the system, but I would probably lean towards this is tough. I kind of like Ilian Natschuler.
Yeah, the Nobody guy I loved his style. That movie was so much fun and surprise. Unexpected.
But I think all these you can't go wrong with.
Stahelski would be great. And then he ends the video with who shouldn't direct Blade? And it's the guy we mentioned last week when we talked about this, Sam Raimi. Don't give it to Sam Raimi.
Yeah, maybe not.
He's probably right.
I was a little bit iffy on that one, but I wonder what Stephen Norrington. I think the director of the original Blade.
Is he still around? Man. What's he doing?
I don't know, but he was a good director. He fucking pulled that shit off. And I think he retired after League of Extraordinary Gentlemen didn't do well.
Oh,
what they need to do is they need to deliver on what people are being promised, which is similar to what when they did Shang-Chi. They delivered on the action for the most part. They figured out they found a way to make it look like that Hong Kong era action with a mix of styles. They need to do that for Blade. Not necessarily that level of it doesn't need to be all martial arts, but it needs to hit the Blade pocket of horror, great fight scenes, blood. And you have Mahershala Ali. This is an Academy Award winning actor. You can't waste a Blade movie.
Absolutely
but
not.
Can he do karate?
Probably not.
That's a good point. You could train him. I mean, Snipes.
But they're just not a good stuntmen.
Snipes was good at that part of it, right? He's very physical. He can do the moves, and his fighting style is great. So you want it to be different than that 90s Blade movie also, because it's just...
I think that's why they want to set it in the 20s or something, because they want that 90s Blade movie has a certain aesthetic.
Yeah.
And they want to give this its own aesthetic.
Yeah, we'll see if they can get their shit together and pick somebody. I mean, I think everything's going to have to be pushed back, because at this point you're giving this person about a year to prep and shoot and do everything, and that's not fair. You need more time. So hopefully it doesn't upset the schedule too much. But all these, that was a great video. These were all great picks. One last comment I just got before we started recording, and it's from our buddy Ralph Bravo. Ralph Bravo sponsored the Patreon movie last week, Hard Target. It's one of his favorite movies. And I guess it seems he's going through some shit in his life. I'm going to keep the details out of this, but I'm going to read around it because he does send us some very nice words. He said, Imran, I would love to thank you, Anthony, and Ruggs. Not only was the review on Hard Target hilarious and an amazing listen, but the podcast has been giving me the laughs I need during a hard time. Thank you for all providing the laughs and helping me find a joy of listening to a podcast. Keep doing what you're doing, and I'm sure y'all are bringing laughter to people who need it. That's really nice. It almost made me cry. Thank you, Ralph Bravo.
Yeah, man. Happy to help.
Our pleasure.
So, here, see? That's what I'm saying. Sign up for the Patreon. We make you laugh. You give back some dollars. Laughs equal dollars. That's all. Think about it that way. Okay, let's get to what are we watching. Holy shit, the run of shows continues, and some crazy shit happened this week. Where should we start with the She-Hulk?
Sure.
Okay.
Spoiler alert.
She-Hulk, the penultimate, episode 8. Finally, some shit happened after a strong start of the show. Like, the first episode was great. They give us possibly like my most favorite episode so far, up there with the first episode. Why? Because you had Frogman. That's not why. It's because the minute Charlie Cox walks into the courtroom as Matt Murdock, I'm like, oh, shit. Oh, he's there. And we got a different tone of this character, a little bit lighter, but man, the chemistry between him, Tatiana Maslany, amazing. Charlie Cox just elevating the whole thing. What did you guys think?
I really think that the plot of the whole episode was stupid, and that Charlie Cox was slumming it in this show.
Oh boy!
But nonetheless, it was enjoyable because you have someone who has a high caliber likability like Charlie Cox. He is Daredevil, and he still brought that into this show.
Yeah.
And that polished this up a little bit and elevated it. So, yeah, it was more pleasant to watch than the past 3 or 4 episodes by far, because it had some action, it had some sex.
Yeah. Some good
had a little
laughs.
bit of that. They were attracted to each other. There was tension there.
Great chemistry. Yeah.
So that's all good stuff. It's just write a good fucking episode, please.
Ribbit and rip it, dude. Anthony, what'd you think? This is the same Daredevil? How this hit you?
I think Charlie Cox he owns the role.
Yeah.
I think he has proven now, even doing this, where he's in a very different environment than the Netflix shows. He still feels like Daredevil, and he still has the dry kind of charm that Daredevil has. I thought some of the stuff they had him do was a little like too far to the like too far away.
Like the walk of shame.
They didn't need to have him do the walk.
Daredevil do the walk of shame.
It's funny in the moment, but it doesn't really serve the character all that well.
Like, would he really do that? Did he not have other clothes? I don't know.
No, it's just you don't need.
He would never do that.
You're just trading a gag. You're trading a short-term gag for kind of compromising the character, but it is what it is. It's the show, so whatever. That and the line where he goes, "My ass remains unwhooped," I thought was a little cheesy.
I kind of like that line too.
The other one, but other than that, I did enjoy the way he is in the courtroom, the way he interacts with her. You can feel that there is chemistry. You definitely. I like that he basically goes, "You don't have a thing. You don't do this." He's just telling her you don't know shit.
Yeah,
and she just has to kind of take it from him.
Yeah.
So I like Charlie Cox, and I'll admit I even liked the end of the show where they
was
tease.
Great. Yeah,
I liked it because of the fact that in with a lot of female celebrities, the way people get them is not by them doing something necessarily wrong, but it's them being exposed on the fappening.
Right.
Or like
just showing them
having
doing
a sex
something
tape.
normal. Right.
Whereas a man sometimes doesn't. That's not as necessarily a thing. So I did enjoy. I wouldn't say I enjoyed it, but I see the through line there. I think the overall problem I have with the show is there just hasn't been the fallback has been, well, it's a sitcom, but the show's not really funny, nor does it have a through line that's all that interesting. So for the middle of this first season, it's just been like, well, it's a sitcom.
Yeah.
A not funny sitcom. But I do agree that I enjoyed this almost as much as the first episode. So I think mostly Charlie Cox and a little bit of the intrigue at the end. So there you go.
I love how they're showing her bang a bunch of dudes, right? Like if it was a guy, they would do the same thing. Like she's banged like how many 3-4 guys already on the show?
3 dudes,
yeah. And this one came to bite her in the ass. I did love that whole bit at the end where she's like, "Why are you guys still here?" Oh, there's a twist. Is this the season finale next? Like that shit was great. Leapfrog was kind of funny. The guy playing him reminded me of like a young Michael Rappaport. Would have been great. Would have been great in this role. But I love how he comes in, dismantles her case like that, and then she starts going, "Who's this asshole?" And then by the end of it, she's like, "This guy's kind of doing it for me." It's fucking great how she comes around. And they were really cute together. Like, they had really good chemistry. He would not do the walk of shame. He would just swing away where nobody saw him. I don't like the yellow suit. I don't know. I don't like this. She called it mustard and ketchup color scheme, and it kind of was. And I'm like, nah, just make them all red. What are you doing?
It's supposed to be brown. And it's supposed to be brown and yellow.
It looks like it's just, I don't know. It's like
red and yellow.
It's like,
it's a weird setup that he would even have this weirdo in the West Coast making him suits.
Yeah,
like
they do.
They're definitely compromising the character a little bit, but I think Charlie Cox is just so good in the role, and he knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
and he plays the role so perfectly, even if he's getting bad material, that it just he shines a turd.
I like that he's wearing the D-Man suit. Do you know the D-Man?
Who's the D-Man?
Look up Marvel D-Man.
Oh, that's right. Marvel D-Man was this weird, generic... It's a big guy that just had a D on his... Demolition Man. That's who it is. He said a big.
But he wears the Daredevil suit.
It's like yellow
it's identical
and red. And then there's one with like the Wolverine mask.
Yeah,
Wolverine he wears a Wolverine mask.
I like that they did the like little hallway fight.
Oh yes, that was great.
They did an homage to that. And I enjoyed that they put his music in there. And I even liked the new music they had for him. Where it was like but I think the Daredevil he did well. He brought the caliber of the show up, and I look forward to seeing him in his own show.
Yeah,
and I don't think they didn't power him up too much.
Yeah.
He's more acrobatic for sure, and he's definitely CGI acrobatic.
A little bit, yeah. Flipping around.
But if I had to compare, and I heard this online and I agree, he was better in this than Kingpin was in Hawkeye.
Oh, interesting.
Probably, yeah. I would agree.
Whereas Kingpin and Hawkeye really felt weird.
Yeah.
It just felt super tacked on, and then you saw that character and you went, I don't know about this. but Daredevil... although there was some stuff I questioned, I didn't go, he doesn't fit at all. I felt like, he can adapt.
Yeah.
They can do things with him.
I mean, it was an organic entry, and they're lawyers, so like it works, right? It's not just kind of shoehorned in. And then she mentions a Red Hulk at one point when she's talking to the camera. That was an interesting little drop. But yeah, that ending was crazy. She hulks out, loses control. Everybody sees it. They're filming her. That was kind of the point. They kind of push her buttons. And I think maybe Bruce will be back next episode. Daredevil's probably gone because he said I was leaving back for New York the next morning. But maybe the Hulk comes back, and I saw a quick clip of like Hulk and Abomination. Maybe they get another rematch. So big next week season finale, and we will review that. That'll be the main review, and the whole season is the end of She-Hulk. Andor, episode 5. Ruggs, you didn't watch this one yet, right?
No, I did not. Forgot that it was.
It's fine. We'll skip it. They're still setting up the heist. It hasn't happened. The next episode will be the actual heist. It was good, though.
I watched it.
What'd you think?
It was good.
It was good.
It was good, yeah. I mean, definitely still setting up the heist, but the tone is all still there. It still feels much more real, for lack of a better sense.
Grounded.
Than a lot of grounded, there you go, than most Star Wars stuff, so.
Yeah, you get more character stuff about all the people, so. No, it's good. I'm waiting for this fucking heist. They're building up so much. It better be great. And then that's only halfway through the show. Okay, let's get to the big one. House of the Dragon. Oh, I didn't put spoiler alerts before any of these, did I? Yeah, fine.
Well, you can put it in post.
Yes.
Spoiler alert.
You'll figure it out. House of the Dragon, episode 8. We have been given another time jump. About 6 years, they say in the beginning. Wow. This show just gets better and better every episode. I don't know, man. This fucking so much shit happens. Anthony, you want to break down real quick? Do you remember what happened?
Yeah, I watched it last night.
Okay.
So I think we have another 6-year time jump.
Yeah.
And at this point, Sir Corlys Valerian has been injured in a battle with the Triarchy.
The Stepstones.
At the Stepstones, and he might die, so his brother, Vaymond?
Vaymond, yes.
Vaymond, it wants to contest who's getting the next seat at House Driftmark or whatever.
Yeah.
And they decide to go to King's Landing to put in a petition to have the house go to Vaymond, because right now the house is going to Lucerys,
yeah.
Valerian, who is a bastard, but he's a Valerian. And they decide they want to petition this because Viserys is on death's door.
Ugh.
So right now, basically, Alicent and the Hand, what's the Hand's name?
Otto Hightower.
Otto Hightower are in charge. And the episode revolves around everyone coming back to King's Landing to make a plea for where the house at Driftmark should go to. And on top of that, there's a big family dinner.
Yeah.
With where Viserys wants to reunite the family before he dies.
Yes. First, oh shit moment was fantastic as they're petitioning. Well, first of all, man, I don't even know where to start. I got to give props to fucking Paddy Constantine, the guy who plays Viserys. because what a crazy arc of this character we've seen. He keeps losing body parts every time jump, right? First he loses fingers, then he lost an arm. We see him now with a fucking Phantom of the Opera mask on. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And he shows you, and his eye is missing. And wow, the makeup, the acting, the effects, clearly on Death Star. I'm like, when is this fucking dude gonna die? And he's so decrepit. You see these lesions. They're doing the petition, and he just interrupts, walks in, and he's like, I'm gonna sit on the throne. I'm gonna fucking resolve this. So,
well, it's because the night before, his daughter Rhaenyra pleads for him to defend her.
Yes,
that scene was awesome.
Yeah,
I know it's just him walking.
Yes,
him walking in, and they resolve the arc with him and his brother because he falls, and his brother picks him up, and that kind of is the arc right there. Is his brother, even though they've had their differences, was there for him at that moment.
I read
it was awesome.
I read that was an ad lib, like the crown fell and Matt Smith just picked it up, and then they just kept filming.
It was perfect.
It was so good. It was so good. Anyways, that's the thing was Viserys. Like he was oblivious to the fact that the kids are bastards and she fucks somebody else. But this man,
it's not he's oblivious. I don't think that
this man the whole time
he willfully is being ignorant about.
No, the whole time he's been trying to avoid wars. He's been trying to be pro-family. He wants everyone to get along, right? And he wants to just have tournaments and carve his little things and just have peace. So, and to the end, he holds his ground. He never gets swayed.
I think that he knows that Rhaenyra would have bore children of the person that she married
if she could have.
Yeah. It's not like she wasn't willing to do her duty. It's just like that. Those are the cards that were dealt to her at that moment. It's the Valerians that are to blame in a way because like they should be like, hey, listen, this is the best we can do right now. Like we have to all accept that they're not having kids together.
Yeah, but they think that she killed their son, right? So there's also that they can't know the truth. So it's going to sting.
That wouldn't have needed to happen if everybody kind of was on the same page.
But that fucking moment where Vaemon just comes out because Viserys is like, no, it's going to go to Lucerys. This is who we wanted. This is where we're going. And then
he doesn't do that. He goes, why is this even a debate?
Right.
The person closest to this is Rhaena.
Yeah.
What did your husband have to say? Yeah. And then she says that because even though she disagrees,
she honors her husband.
She honors her husband.
She honors her husband because she similar to Alicent in a sense.
Yeah.
They're bound by duty. So even if they know it's wrong, they're going to do it because it's for the realm. It's
tradition.
It's tradition. Yeah.
And Vaemon was hoping that she would back him, right?
Right.
And
even though because she's the one that made the argument to Corlys in the last episode that you need a Valerian blood on them.
And then he's like, history doesn't remember blood; it remembers names. And then Vaemon fucking loses it and calls the kids bastards and calls Rhaenyra a whore. And then Viserys is trying to get up. He pulls his knife. He's like, I'm gonna cut your tongue out before anybody can do anything. Just shunk. Fucking Daemon Targaryen with Valyrian steel chops the dude's head in half. And I love the detail of the shot where he chopped it above the tongue. The tongue is still sticking out, and he goes, he could keep his tongue. And the fucking cleats, I was like, oh, fuck.
Oh,
that was a shocking and amazing. And
well, he before that, he's going, say it. Say it.
He's hanging him on. He goes, go ahead. And we all know what he's going to say. And and I was like, fucking hell. And then the dinner scene, and then he's like, the body's there, and you see the head that's separated. I was like, this is fucking disturbing. But the dinner
then you got the toast by one-eyed kid.
The dinner scene gets also very tense and awkward and combative.
But he basically calls them out again.
Yeah.
Well, what's great though about that scene is it's kind of seems like it's all on a tenuous situation, and Viserys is there and he makes the plea, and at least on my read on the situation, I feel like Rhaenyra and Alicent both were like, all right, well, we'll put bygones be bygones. Like, well, I think their toasts are genuine. And then Aegon, what's his face? what's that kid's, the older kid's name? Not Lucerys.
Jace?
Jace, yeah.
Jaceres or something?
And he still's like, I'll take the high road and make a toast.
Yeah.
But as soon as Viserys leaves, that's when like shit hits the fan in Aemon.
Dude, and
Aemon
why is
makes that
everybody
toast.
named Aegon? This is how this war is going to be starting with as Viserys dies, which was an amazing death scene. It's fucking just so haunting. And Alicent, he's talking to Alicent. He doesn't know who's there, and he tells him Aegon, the prince who was promised. He's not talking about this Aegon. He's talking about the past Aegon, the Song of Fire and Ice.
He thinks he's talking to his daughter.
Yes, and now she thinks he's talking about her son. And everybody's fucking named Aegon, and Rhaenyra named her kids Viserys and Aegon again. You can't come up with any other names. What the fuck? But
I'll admit, I didn't like that.
What?
I didn't like that writing. I don't like that
it's a mistake is going to lead to a
it's
war.
a misunderstanding.
I don't like that it's a little convenient.
Yeah.
Oh, I misheard it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that the writing could have been better there. I don't think it seems too Hollywood for me. It seems like a thing the CW would do.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's a very soap opera kind of thing.
I saw like it seemed like a thing Cobra Kai would do. It's like, I saw Miguel talking to what's her face, and I think that we're not together anymore. And it's just like, oh, Miguel is apologizing to her. It's like, oh, like they miss where it's like this teen drama. I didn't like that.
I mean, it makes sense that
I don't like that the whole war is going to be based on Alicent hearing something that she misheard.
Yeah, that's a little.
Yeah, real people talk to each other. I think even if they hate each other, they still argue and they'll hash it out.
Yeah, and that, or like even, there's years now where he has told, he declared in front of the kingdom that Rhaenyra was his succession.
Yeah.
And now Alicent's going to be like, they're going to make Alicent so conniving that she's going to take 10 seconds of this guy on his deathbed where he's hopped up on drugs.
Yeah.
And he says something like that, and she's going to be like, well, that's the gospel. That was his dying wish. I don't know. It just sounded like that.
Milk of the puppy. Yeah, that's
otherwise the episode's great.
Otherwise everything's great. That last bit, I mean, his death scene was great, but yeah, it's a little too convenient. There's 2 episodes left, so.
I mean, how about freaking Aemond? He makes that speech, but like right before that, it's so fucking good. They bring out the pig.
Oh yes,
and Jace Luce is like smirking at him because of the pig thing.
Yeah.
And that's when Aemond, he literally slams the table, and I had the lights off, and I shook. Like,
the music, he hits the table, and the music shuts off like Fonzie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody's looking at him, and they're like,
I also really like, he's a shit. I mean, Aegon's, first off, he's a shithead.
Yeah, he's nice.
Aemon's also a shithead, but I really like how they throw in there that Aemon can already beat Sir Criston.
Oh, yeah, they were
and
dueling.
Sir Criston can beat Daemon.
Oh.
That's why, and then so that's why Rhaenyra got Daemon, and then you can see when Aemon gets up and the kids, punch Aemon, and he pushes the kid down, and Daemon gets in front.
Yeah, you
can see just in the little moment there, as the kids say, Aemon wants that smoke. He wants Daemon.
Yeah,
he wants to fucking fight Daemon, and I love that.
Yeah, that's right. Daemon just steps
he
up
wants
and
to test himself
there.
against. Yeah, Daemon blocks him, and Aemon's like, fuck you, man. I want it.
I was like, next time I'll get you.
They definitely do that on purpose. They show you that he can beat Criston, and you have to remember Criston beat Daemon in the first or second
in
episode.
the first episode. Right. Oh, so he's trying to get prove his
and
worth.
you also got Daemon mining for eggs in the beginning.
Oh yeah, what was that about?
Aemon has Vhagar.
Right.
So Aemon's the guy. He's going to be the one he's the fucking warhorse.
He's the one you got to look out for.
He's the one ready to fight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's ready. And
they've built him up pretty good though. Like this has been his origin story at this point.
Meanwhile, Aegon's just drunk and raping servants and doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
Oh man, Aegon, he's horrible.
I thought Alicent
married to his sister
was gonna kill that girl, but she gave her
what I thought.
The abortion tea.
Maybe she's still kind of bound by duty.
Yeah,
like she knows that it's wrong, but she's also like, we can't
tell anybody.
She's also supposedly religious too, right?
Yeah. Right. She's super religious. You see all the 7.
She's with the 7 gods.
Oh, that's what that is, right? Oh yeah.
Because the Targaryens believe themselves to be gods, but now that he's dying, she's completely changed it to be the House of the 7 type.
What are the odds that Corlys Velaryon does show up and he's not dead?
That That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
Crazy.
he's like, fuck you guys. I'm still
I was
alive.
like, I'm back, motherfuckers.
I'm back, bitches.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, 2 episodes.
Great-
what a
great
fucking
show.
So good. So good. All right. And then let's finish up real quick with the Rings of Power. Ruggs, you caught up on this one?
Yes, but it's very foggy in my mind. I believe everybody, speaking of fog, they make it out of the fog of war.
Yes.
So,
it's the aftermath of the Mount Doom volcanic explosion.
Yeah, so the eruption happens, everything's get covered, and of course, Galadriel
She's fine.
Wakes up, no problem.
She's fine.
But to make it fair, like a lot of people are fine, so.
She's covered in dust. They did a couple of weird things, but yeah, it's kind of like a slow. They slowed it down after last week's crazy episode. It was kind of like a slower burn episode, but setting up the effects of everything. And I think there's one more episode left of this, and it's supposed to be a big battle. I don't understand why they're making us think Isildur is dead when we know that he's clearly not going to die.
No, yeah, he's not.
That part is weird. And then they do the thing where the Southlands become Mordor, but I feel like that's also a thing everybody knew wasn't going to happen. I don't know.
Well, it had to happen. But like the thing that was weird is that I didn't expect her to bring up her husband.
Ah.
And like, oh, okay, where's this guy been?
What's he been doing this? Oh, you're married. Oh, you never mentioned this.
And he's in Lord of the Rings too.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's alive. He just
die.
bounced. He's just like, oh, I'm going to get the fuck out of here.
And also, there's the whole thing with the dwarves and the mithril, and the king won't let him mine the mithril to help the elves. And the Durin goes and tries to mine it, and they gets caught. And the last shot is he throws the leaf down the thing, and you see the fucking Balrog. But my understanding is this Balrog doesn't actually come out for like another quite some time. So I don't know why they showed us that.
They just want to tease that, so you know it's an impending doom.
I think there's one episode left. Are we going to get Sauron?
I don't know. I don't know how long they're going to drag this shit out. But yeah, they're probably gonna. They're making a season 2, so there's probably going to be a lot of stuff they're going to allude to. They're going to give you something next episode, but it's not going to be the whole shebang. Like they're going back to the elves. There's going to be an interesting elf. It's going to be the elves' reaction to what's going on, and then it's going to advance the story about getting the mithril. I think that's it.
Okay, I mean, I'm still in. If there's one left, we're going to see how this ends up, and then we're going to wait like 3 years for another season, probably.
That the mysterious stranger and the people hunting him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, those people in white. What's the deal with that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Who are those people?
I have no idea. But, that has to come to a conclusion.
Yeah.
All that stuff's going to happen next.
Like, who is this guy? What's his
Galadriel
deal?
and all of the Numenorians are going to go to the elf city, Linden.
Okay. Linden, New Jersey?
Which is not London.
Oh.
It's Linden. And they're going to go, and there's going to be a whole thing about Galadriel and blah, blah, blah. We're going to find out, of course, more about her. And then we're going to probably resolve the mithril thing. And then hopefully the last piece is the stranger and the people hunting him. So,
and I mean, we've said this every week. I'm watching both. I'm still into both, but I'm still thoroughly enjoying House of Dragon.
It doesn't even hold a candle. When I watched the last episode, I was riveted and I was impressed. I was like, him walking into that room.
Yeah.
That was like such a moment. Like I was 100%. Like, whoa, this is fucking great. And like, I remember like even getting emotional, like when the daughter was pleading for him or for the help and
and
then he was pleading to his family to get along.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is actually emotionally connecting to me. And, I just felt like it's on such a high level of, it's one of the great shows. At this point, they have not ruined it yet. So, I'm hoping that it continues.
I just think more people are talking about House of Dragon than Lord of the Rings also in general, like just water cooler talk and posting about it. I think House of the Dragon is killing it over the
I
rings.
think that it being so decompressed and so much of the story is moving at a snail's pace and there's not a lot of action in it.
Yeah.
There are great sets and great shots and
The acting is good too.
The acting is good. Yeah. It just doesn't pack the punch.
Fuck, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the feedback my friends say in their chat because they watch Rings of Power.
It's
and they
sexless.
Go.
It's so they don't. There's nothing. There's no violence. Like the violence isn't gory.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing edgy about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like this kind of like rounded corner. Everything's been buffed,
Be a little safe, a little sanitized.
Yeah. So it's a little sanitized and yeah, it's fine. It needs a little bit more grit, but
Anthony, what's your friend's hot take?
No, they just say whenever they watch, they're like the last episode. The feedback was, man, another slow episode of Rings of Power. So
yeah. So the next week is the season finale, apparently. So I think it's just 9 episodes per season. Okay, what else are we watching? What do we want to mention? Anthony, you got anything else? 90s action
I'm
movies?
trying to think if I saw anything this week that was worth talking about. No, I was pretty packed with all the stuff we got to watch. So I haven't watched any 90s movies this week.
Ruggs, what you watching?
I went to the movies and saw Shin Ultraman.
Oh, you saw it in the theater?
In the theater?
Bilotti gave me the hookup. I think he was supposed to, because New York Comic Con's going on right now.
Right, and it was last
They
weekend.
have all these screenings, and so Bilotti's like, I'll give you my ticket. I'm not using it. So and he already seen it, so I went to go see it.
And
it's good. They did some stuff that Shin Godzilla did, and I was annoyed at when Shin Godzilla did it. Like, remember, I don't know if you all watched Shin Godzilla, but
we
remember there was
it.
like these big blocks of text on the screen, like telling everybody's name.
Yes, or places.
And it's made by the same people, so it feels very similar to Shin Godzilla. I'm happy to say that this one had a lot more action in it.
Okay, good. Less conference meetings.
Well, instead of going to all different conference meetings, you stick with the same few characters that are like kind of dealing with this whole thing. But they literally speed through all of the backstory. So like if you're a person like, thank God I watched some Ultraman and I know a little bit about it, and I watched also the animated series, so there's some things that connect there. But if you didn't know anything about Ultraman and you watch this movie, you'd be like, what the fuck am I watching? So there's that. Because they kind of like speed through it. Like there's kaijus and there's that, blah, 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 blah. And there's not enough time to actually throwing names at you, like whatever. And there's a lot of kaijus in it for like 2 seconds and then they disappear. But when Ultraman shows up and the destruction is great, the scale is great. They do use a lot of the same music cues as all the other Anno stuff.
Okay.
Even Shin Godzilla, like they have that it's like becoming a parody of itself in a way. But, it was fun. It was a fun movie and it has some moments where you're like, what the hell? It actually builds to a nice crescendo in the middle and it kind of fizzles out a little bit at the end because there's not like this great big fight scene at the end. Kind of, it's just, there is like some aerial dynamics and stuff like that, but it's more of like a existential, like there's like they talk about existence and humanity, and it's almost like the end of the Matrix when you're talking to the architect, you know, there's kind of like that ending.
Okay.
But I liked it. I thought it was good. I would watch it again. I want to watch it I want to watch a dub version because there's a lot of, they're talking a lot and there's a lot of reading, and I felt like I missed a little bit of the stuff that was going on screen. And that's the whole battle when you're watching a subtitles movie. It's like you're reading the subtitles, but you're missing, you're not really getting to enjoy the visuals as much,
right?
Or the direction. You're kind of juggling. So I would like to be able to like satisfy that portion of it for me. But yeah, the monster designs are actually okay. They look, it's a little video gamey. It's not quite to the level of our Hollywood stuff, but at the same time, it still has a good quality about it, and it's still like enjoyable. And it does, you do like when it's all happening, you're all right there for it. So if you like kaiju stuff, I would check it out.
I don't know, how does one watch this though? Is it
It's
going
not out
to
yet.
be...
It'll be out soon, probably.
Okay. Release date. In Japan, May 13th of this year. In Japan, I don't know when it comes.
It might get like a limited release here. I mean, they're screening it here,
Put
so
it on streaming.
it might end up there too.
All right, and I did watch one of our 90s action movies, and as I'm catching up, it was the Mission Impossible, because I noticed, Ruggs, you were watching Mission Impossible 2.
We were talking about John Woo, and I was
the
like,
John Woo one, yes.
Yeah, I want to watch another John Woo movie, so I was like, oh, Mission Impossible 2 it is.
That one does not make the tourney. The first one does, and
yes.
It's an introduction to Tom Cruise's Ethan Hunt.
I've never seen it.
Dude, Brian De Palma directing, Danny Elfman doing the music. Like, there's some heavy hitters in this. And
Good movie?
Yeah, I mean, there's two, like, good, iconic action scenes. You walk away kind of feeling satisfied. And there's the whole espionage and who to trust.
It's more about spy stuff.
It is more about spy stuff, yes.
It's a little bit. It's more about Tom Cruise being resourceful.
Yeah, as an actioner, I mean, I don't know how much it's going to hold up to the matchup it has in terms of... It's
not like John Wick, or even the soon as Mission Impossible 2 came out, it like, even though that one's not packed with action, the action's on a higher, it's John Woo.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to have...
I mean, that one starts with Tom Cruise
shooting guns and all that stuff.
Hanging off of a cliff, free climbing, and I think it's actually him hanging off this fucking crazy cliff.
Yeah, he's doing stunts. There's a one shot of him going through fire on his motorcycle.
Oh, that's him.
Like riding through, and it's you can tell it's him doing
it's him. He's fucking crazy.
He's driving through fire.
Yeah.
Well, I will be watching it.
Yeah. No, it's a good Mission
And I'm not going to
Impossible.
reveal its matchup.
Okay.
Or where it's ranked.
Okay. I can't wait. We're working on locking down the date for the 90s.
So you like
action
Mission Impossible
tournament.
1? Isn't John Voight in that one?
John Voight is in it. Ving Rhames. You got Jean Reno.
Jean Reno is in that. Yeah.
Yeah. As the what do they call him? The disavowed MI5 agent.
I feel like that's the more of a film.
I mean,
and then all the other ones are more movies.
Well, the Brian De Palma style of it is great, you know, like the way he shoots things, and he's a great director. And I don't know, he hasn't done anything in a while, so.
But he did Scarface. He did Blowout.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you ever see Snake Eyes with Nick Cage? Like
that's a crazy movie.
It's a crazy
yeah.
movie. It's not bad. It's a good De Palma. But yeah, he's did some big hits in the 70s and the early 80s. But that was a weird pick for the Mission Impossible. It was Brian De Palma, but it works, so it's good. Anything else? That's it for this
Ruggs? Week. You saw Rapid Fire.
Oh, I watched Rapid Fire because Anthony saw it, and I was like, I gotta watch that movie.
I have to also catch up. I didn't get to watch that.
Oh man, that movie it still holds up pretty good.
That's crazy.
There's a couple of like hilarious like there's this one time where Brandon Lee does a backflip.
Oh yeah,
and it's just like so like
the guy's got him like in a sleeper hold or something.
Yeah.
He does a backflip over him.
And but he's clearly like jumping on a trampoline.
Oh, like 100%.
You know?
Backflips out of
it's very jarring. And then there's like at the very end when he's on the train tracks, they do some kind of speed up motion thing, and it just looks really like out of place.
You know what I forgot to mention last week that I remember from this movie is, remember that scene where he's in the kitchen and the FBI guys are trying to shoot him?
Yeah.
He looks, I'm almost positive, he looks at the camera and goes, oh shit.
Oh,
yeah, he does. He
He
does.
stares right
He
into
does.
the camera and looks at the audience and goes,
does.
oh shit.
I don't think he was
does.
supposed to do
He
that.
really does.
not that kind of movie.
Exactly that.
It was so, what I remember saying, I'm like, wait a minute, what just happened here? Did he just break the fourth wall? Did he mean to do that?
Yeah, I don't think he meant
I
to
think,
do
maybe they just kept it in because they thought it was funny.
Or they must not have had another take or something. I don't know. Like, why you just...
He literally looks at the camera and goes, oh shit.
I gotta say though that the greatest thing about seeing it now is after all the history of seeing Ali Young and everything, that he still doesn't say anything because his voice is just like a regular dude's voice. He just sounds like, hey, what's up, dude? But like he gets his due. He gets to be like a real fucking
awesome fights,
like awesome bad guy. And he has like a pretty like intense fight with Brandon Lee, and that's like the best fight in the whole movie. And I thought it was really cool. And I was just like, wow, it still holds up. I was wondering if my memory of it was going to be, but the bad guy, he's so over the top, like gangster.
Oh yeah,
he's
Italian mobster type.
Yeah, and it's in Chicago. I forgot it was in Chicago.
Yeah, that's the other interesting thing. It takes place right here.
Did you notice too that Ali Young, when he kills that Italian mobster, he threatens him with a ninja star, right? But then when they cut back to him on the ground, it's
He's
like
got
3 knives.
Yeah.
And it's like, did he miss with the ninja star?
He's like,
He's had all these knives.
I was just fucking with you. I'm getting the knives. But like,
Yeah.
my other favorite thing is I forgot that there's 2 things I still don't understand about this movie, but like one thing I forgot was that there was a naked lady in the beginning that he was drawing her.
Yes.
And then he goes out and they go on a date, but it's like she's taking him to this place so he can be a speaker about Tiananmen Square.
Right.
And then all of a sudden this big action scene unfolds and he's like trying to get her out of the building, but then at one point he just abandons her. He's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
That's
So
amazing.
you never know what happens to the hot girl that he was drawing.
She completely I thought she was going to be the girl in the movie.
And she just
completely
disappears. That's
Right.
amazing. That's great.
And
I mean,
the other
it's-
thing,
Go ahead. Go. No.
go ahead.
I was just
They
going to
never-
say, who's going to go first? Me or
You go.
Okay. I was just on piggybacking on that scene. It's just such a cockamamie thing. Like he's drawing this naked girl in college. She asks him out on a date.
No names are exchanged.
Yeah, but she was actually working for the guy that wanted him, that was protesting about Tiananmen Square, to get him to talk about Tiananmen Square at a like art studio.
Yeah.
That also is a front for heroin. It's just like there's so many different things happening there.
Yeah, there's mental gymnastics going on. You really got to stretch. But the other thing is, nobody really explained why he knew karate.
Yeah, how
and
does
why
he know
he could
karate?
he could handle a gun. He could just do everything well.
Art students. They're good. They have all of
He's
these
just
know.
he's just that's what it is, like
How
San
old is he?
Francisco.
20 in this movie? Like,
Yeah, he's just like a San Francisco art student.
yeah.
Who happens to know karate.
Well, yeah, he happens to know it, and then once he's done in the situation where they don't need him anymore, he volunteers to come back and take down the bad guy.
Yeah. He's killing people, but then all of a sudden he doesn't kill people. Like, when it's time to kill like the guy who's trying to kill him, he doesn't just shoot him.
No, it's such an odd
I can't wait to watch this
thing, but it's such an entertaining movie.
It's still entertaining. And then the girl gets him the file from his dad, and he's like, fuck this. And he doesn't care.
He doesn't care, and then they bang.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. They just, yeah. And there's like a whole montage.
Yeah, that montage is amazing. They just blow through the main villain that you thought was the main villain, and then pivot to another villain 3/4 of the way through the
Wow.
movie.
Oh, this tournament's going to be fantastic.
It'll be fun.
Rapid Fire still holds up.
I really enjoy Kate Hodge.
Yeah, she was fine. She was good. I like the girl in the beginning more, but like it holds up well. It's like it
That's
actually
crazy
feels
that
like
it holds up.
I feel like it's like better than most of like the 80s like B movies
100%.
that we've been talking about. It's like in a lot of ways.
I think it's because of Brandon. Like they didn't have to cut away from Brandon Lee when the fight scenes happened.
Yeah.
Those were long shots where you were like, "Oh, he's doing this.
Yeah,
he's fighting." And they throw in the Jackie Chan type stuff. He throws the coat rack on people. He opens up the fridge on someone's head as they're running
like,
by.
That was the thing. See, Jackie Chan, he was a thing in China, but like he didn't really break out in America. Like, you think Rumble in the Bronx came out in the 90s?
Yeah.
96, 95, somewhere around there.
So like this is right before that.
Yep.
And or I think it might have been like around the same time, but like it's like this wasn't like something that was a thing here for years. It was fresh at the time. So seeing someone use the environment, kick a table up, sweep someone's leg, use like different props to fucking fight people. It was cool. Like it was something that you didn't see very often. And I mean, you put Brandon Lee and Jackie Chan, obviously Jackie Chan, he's doing all kinds of shit. Like he's doing shit forever, but it's different. Like it was just different, a different flavor. It's like almost like Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan like combined. I think you said that last time. Yeah.
No, definitely. That's exactly. It felt like that. It was. And honestly, even watching it now, having never seen it, watching it a week or two ago, it felt fresh to me.
Wow.
I felt like, oh, this is different.
Yeah.
This guy's style is different.
Oh man, the potential he had. It is sad. But this 90s tournament's going to be fun. I think it's going to be some hard decisions. Which
it'll be fun.
Okay,
At some point, we'll do it.
We will happen in November, hopefully. We're locking down a date. That's it for this week, Ruggs. Where can the listener find you?
You can find me on Twitter at ReallyRugBoy. Come by and follow me, retweet me.
We got links to all that stuff on our website in the show notes. Check it out. Most important thing you can do, listener, spread the show, share it with your friends. Thank you for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
We will peep you next time.
I really don't give a shit.
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest.
Jock and Nerd